You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Suffer to take what's yours. You are kings now, curse of titans.
The bell has rung. We're in the ring. Here we go.
We didn't hear the bell though, so I didn't know it started.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I still have my pants off.
I thought it was at a table.
The intro has the bell, but we don't play the intro anymore. Well, that'll eventually come
we
back.
don't have to hear it.
Yeah. So good news before we get started. Just like as always, hit that like, subscribe, head over to YouTube, check us out on YouTube. Just search Tornado Attack Podcast or IWEP Network. It's all on there. The laptop is going to be here before the weekend.
Yeah. That's right.
Which is fantastic. We got to do some setups and some tests, but the next time we all sit at this table, which I'm not sure exactly how that's going, because I think Thursday I'm actually leaving to go to New York.
Oh, well.
It might be Thursday into Friday. I'm not sure yet. I'll keep you updated. But the next time we all get back to the table, we should be live on YouTube.
And you know what episode number that is, right?
What?
That'll be episode 69.
69.
Live sex celebration.
Ronnie Mon.
Yep.
I'm going to get us canceled.
Yeah, can we
I'm going to say some off the wall
picture Ronnie
shit.
for that one?
Yeah, you should either try to get Ronnie Mon or just say you have Ronnie Mon and just have Header.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is
Is he on Cameo?
Ronnie Munn. What we're gonna do is we're gonna recreate what they did in Jackass with Preston and Wee Man. We're gonna have Brian lay down and then super glue Tyler on top of him into a 69 position.
I like it. I like it.
Did you ever see the movie Borat?
I only joined this podcast
Yes.
so I get 69 with Brian, so we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, if that's going to get us canceled. That's it right there. No, but yeah, go over and check out Teespring. If you are checking out Teespring and you buy a shirt, awesome. Thank you guys so much. We are looking to do a new logo, but new logo comes with cost. So we are, kind of waiting to get those costs up a little bit because right now all money is going into equipment because we're really close. I'm really close to finishing my gauntlet, as you'll say, as my infinity, because there's a lot of items I want that will really help me out for the podcast and when we go out to wrestling shows and get really good content. And we're really close to pretty much having everything I need at this point in time, which is really good. But
I know what I want to buy before I go back to a wrestling show. That's a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Especially WWE.
Yes, we'll get into that in a second. But the shirts are going to be a little more expensive than they were before. They're like, shirts are up to $25 now. But the reason for that is we changed over the quality of shirt. So before they were called the classic tees, and they were much cheaper to make, but the quality of the shirt was not. It was good. But I feel like after I ordered a premium shirt, and it was like so the shirts we put them at 15. We weren't really making much. Normally shirts go for 20. For another $5, I feel it's just a better quality shirt for the $5.
Yeah,
right.
The image looks better on the shirt. They feel nicer. They don't shrink in the wash. I know a lot of the shirts I bought before.
Says the man wearing a $12.50 t-shirt right now.
I am, but after shipping and handling through Pro Wrestling
Yeah.
Tees is a $38 shirt.
$1,250.
Yeah. So yeah, go over and check out our merch page. You can also check out ProWrestlingTees.com and search Team Blue and Gold. Stealing a little plug here, but we'll get it out early. But
Or you can drive to Chicago. It might be cheaper.
Yeah, and pick it up.
Yeah.
In-store pickup.
So a lot of cool stuff happening there. It looks like we're getting closer, possibly, to returning to somewhat normalcy when it comes to live wrestling.
Well, New Japan's going to have fans in July, whatever that is.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
Because
think we might be going the other way.
some of I just don't see our government starting over again.
Well, you
If
hear about the
people are
bad.
dying, if people are dying in the streets, they're going to be going back that way.
You hear about the bad, but you never hear about the good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas.
Georgia opened first. No words about Georgia. Just saying.
Florida's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida
And
and
Texas.
Texas. Texas and Houston, their main hospital is 100% full in the ICU, which is nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania's had like a 2-week high on positive cases.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still lower than it was. Like,
Don't
Yeah.
guys, I know someone who I was with over the weekend who got tested on Monday and they tested clean, so I know I'm good.
Good.
no, okay, about one person. I mean,
Yeah.
What was that comedian? I never got an HIV test, but I know someone who got one, so I know I'm good.
I think it was Chris Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of positive tests and everything going on, COVID and WWE.
And by proxy, AEW.
Yeah.
A lot going
let's,
on there.
let's talk into
Lot
let's
to
dive into
unpack.
this.
So basically, there were reports from Ryan Satin, funny, right after he loses his gig on WWE Backstage because that was canceled.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. Real quick. I'm really high on Renee. I just think she's a good person. Everything she's a part of, I seem to enjoy.
As long as she's not a commentator, I love her.
I liked her at commentary.
She was all right.
I
with
thought she was
comedy.
so
The problem was the way they booked the commentary team was Corey Graves had to diminish everything she ever
Yeah.
did or said, which was kind of what got old. But I don't think that was Renee's fault.
I think
See,
most
I
of
didn't
the-
mind their back and forth because I thought the banner was kind of actually funny, but she just, even she said publicly she didn't want to do the job. Like she didn't, they just were
Yeah.
like, hey, Renee,
Yeah.
do it. She wasn't really a huge fan of it, so I think that's why it's like when she does like backstage, she's
Yeah, like Mean
amazing
Gene.
because she
Yeah.
loves doing it.
She's
Yeah.
probably the best at that since Mean
Yeah.
Gene, I think.
and it's crazy because it seems like they put her in those positions, kind of expecting her to fail,
Right.
and then people enjoy the show because she's good at it, and they're like, "Well, what the fuck? This isn't supposed to be that," and then they cancel it on her, like
Yeah.
talking smack.
Yeah, it was great.
Talking
great-
smack.
Talking
She's the whole.
Smack was
She's the
great.
whole reason why Punk went back.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason why Punk went back.
and now they're like, "Oh, we're done with it again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't there. That was a Fox call. Fox just pulled the plug on that, and they pulled the plug on some boxing shows they were doing. It's a cost-cutting thing.
Yeah, I just hope they do something on the network with her.
I'm sure they will.
because it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was this report that several WWE talents, including in-ring competitors, tested positive for COVID-19, and then you hear that all of a sudden that Jon Moxley isn't going to be on Dynamite. And you're like, uh-oh.
Oh,
And
1
then-
and 2, 1 + 1.
And then Renee Young comes out and says, not only did my show get canceled, I have COVID. What a great couple of days here.
Yeah,
And then the other confirmed cases, Kayla Braxton, she says she's gotten it twice now. She says she had it in March, and then
yeah. She
also
said
now.
she said the myth out there that you can't catch COVID twice isn't real because I'm on my second term.
Well, let's see if she can get a third.
Yeah,
third time's a charm. And then also Adam Pierce, road agent Adam Pierce recently said it's like, happy birthday, I got COVID, basically.
yeah. Man, there's some talent like that. We are not coming back until this is.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens all but said that on the bump. I don't think you're going to see Roman anytime soon.
No, yeah,
I
Roman's
would,
gonna
I would
stand
hope
far
that
away from this.
I would hope that they keep Ric Flair away just because of his health issues
Yeah.
and his age. I would hope they keep Ric Flair away just as a precaution.
I don't think COVID has the ability to take Flair out.
Flair, Keith Richards, and Ozzy.
If one of them, we lose one of them, then the world's like, we need to shut the fuck
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
going bad.
Trump's like, wait, Ric Flair died?
Trump don't even know who he is. Well, he might know Ric Flair.
Well, Flair's a womanizer, so Trump probably like, idolized
Yeah,
him. He's
I-
like, I don't know what you do, but I know you don't mean to women.
But he wasn't
Me
in
too.
WWE back then.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tough all around. And even with AEW, QT Marshall was basically told to stay home because he had a contact that had tested positive.
Yeah, so yeah.
The good thing that's coming out of this, though, is that WWE is not going to be testing like AEW does. Before, they were just doing temperature checks before that one person in the crowd
But
stayed.
just so dumb. That's so dumb. Just to do your temperature check. They should have been doing testing way before this even got this bad.
Yeah, it's WWE can afford it.
And they were
Yeah.
doing every 2 weeks. Like, they could have just taped all month, once a month.
Yeah, they used to tape Raw in a month. Well,
Yeah.
then again, it was an hour back then.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
they have so much back catalog. They could do best of shows.
Yep.
Every other week, we're going to do best of or spotlight shows or
Which
something.
they're doing on Friday. On Friday,
Which I won't turn into. I hated every
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people will.
Yeah.
Friday, this tomorrow or today, as this episode comes out, the upcoming SmackDown. The theme is tribute to the Undertaker, and they're re-airing the Boneyard match.
Oh wow, I had no idea that's even what's happening. That's cool. I seen that Moxley though. Apparently his came back negative, so he's actually okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's
he's
good.
not.
Yeah,
he wasn't near.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
Renee
that's the thing that sucks
for a
though.
while.
That's the thing that sucks. Is now he has to stay away from his wife for like
Yeah.
3 weeks or however long it takes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sucks. I didn't even think about that. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Kind of segue. Someone's vibrating.
My phone's on the chair.
Might be me.
That's-
Segue into that. Taker retiring.
Yeah,
I had to.
I'm
for
wrong.
He
now.
reads what's on the prompter.
Let's go. Let's start with Matt on the phone. Do you think it sticks?
I don't think it does, but at the same time, I know this is something that's been thrown around for X amount of years. You know, people saying he should. Look, I'm the guy that thinks Taker can do whatever he wants. He's earned that right.
Yeah.
Taker wants to come back in 5 years when he's 60 and says, I want my last match to be a ladder match with Hornswoggle. Absolutely. He can do absolutely whatever he wants. I think that, you know, the way he went out, you know, quote unquote, went out in the Boneyard match, I think AJ is going to pull one more match out of him. You know, maybe 50-50 on it. Cause I would like to see Taker have his last match in front of fans.
Yeah.
And I think AJ, and I've been saying it for years, like when Taker's been having these, you know, I know it's going to sound disrespectful. I don't mean to disrespect the Undertaker, but he's been having some stinkers over the last 4 or 5 years, and a lot of it's due to just the talent he's in the ring with.
Honestly, his tag match, I would have been cool if he walked away from that one.
The one Roman?
With the Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I thought that was a good match.
I've been saying for years, you just take what he did in the CM Punk match and just copy and paste it. And I'm not saying that Taker didn't work his ass off. He did. But you just go back and watch what Punk did in that match. He basically it was a younger guy, a smaller guy, that he just bumped and fed to it. I've been saying for the last 2 or 3 years, why doesn't he have a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles? He literally can do the exact same thing Punk did. He's more athletic than Punk. Punk may probably tell a better story, and they had a better feud going into it. Like, I just didn't understand why, like, he's wrestling Triple H, and they're doing the tag match with, like, Shawn hasn't wrestled in 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And Kane is doing the mayor stuff and clearly out of shape, and then he's like, he has a train wreck of a match with Goldberg, and then I know after the Extreme Rules match, he was telling people backstage, man, I really like that McIntyre kid. I'm like, maybe that's where they're going. Maybe they knew Taker and Drew McIntyre. I'm like, all right, I'm fine with that. So do I think it sticks? I'm going to say 51% no, 49% yes. But either way, like I said, Taker can do whatever he wants. And the only thing I don't want to see Taker do is wrestle somewhere else, because that character needs to be, and I know he's not going to because he's so loyal to Vince, that character needs to be, you know, WWE, WWF, and I just think it's really cool that 30 years went by, he barely broke kayfabe, and then we get that, you know, 5.5 hour, you know, documentation thing on the network where it's basically you finally get to see a behind the curtain thing where he's letting his guard down. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah. What I liked about it a lot is when they would show his interaction with the talent backstage, and they really show his leadership in the locker room. I thought that was cool.
Helping the young generation out. Look at all the guys he helped make. You know, Foley, Michael's getting back in there. He helped, you know, put Triple H on a super level. Randy Orton. I mean, so many different guys that he helped out when he really, you know, didn't have to be.
Yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to add to that? I mean, for me, he nailed it on the head.
I don't want to see him wrestle ever again.
Yeah, I don't want to see him wrestle either.
I think he probably will. But he said that the Boneyard match took a lot out of him. It was almost like wrestling a 45-minute match, he said.
Yeah.
So I was like, because everyone said, well, now I could just do this for 5 years. But I guess it was...
Yeah.
Well, he was doing all his own stunts and everything.
If he does have one more match, I would prefer it to be AJ and then call it a day.
Okay, yeah.
As long as he goes out on his back, because like that's usually traditionally what wrestlers do when they retire. Is like they go out on a loss. So if he does come back, it'd be cool to see him.
I think AJ is gonna for Taker would scratch that itch that he wanted to do with Michaels, because he wanted Michaels to be the one to end the Mania streak, and Michaels is like, no, I'm actually leaving. So you're putting me out, and he's like, you son of a bitch. They should have had a New Japan double count out, and then just both retire.
What that was? I was going to retire now.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, so I think him and the respect he has for Shawn.
Or they could have done a thing where the winner gets to retire.
Yeah.
And the other one has to keep wrestling.
Keep going. The loser has to wrestle Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah, the loser has to go and have 4 matches in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so I think that AJ thing really appeals to him because he sees a lot of Shawn in AJ. So yeah.
Yeah, and
I think we all do. We all do.
Yeah.
And Matt pretty much took what I was going to say. I think it's maybe more 60-40 that he wrestles again. And yeah, he's earned the right to write his own ticket and write his own. Because one of the things with Daniel Bryan coming back that I was very happy with is hopefully, unless something bad happens again, he gets a chance to write his own ending.
Yeah.
To a degree, and Undertaker deserves that ability.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
I mean, not for a while with Bryan.
Yeah. When he retired and he came back, I didn't know the guy. I didn't watch any of his body of work, but he just is so transparent as a human. both times I would be lying to everyone here if I didn't say I got emotional and had a tear. Like I was holding back a tear. I was like, Jesus Christ! Like you could tell how much it means to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, and I never watched him wrestle a day before that. You know what I mean? I was like, Jesus. And then when he came back, I was like, just seeing the impact he had without even being there and how much the fans still clamored around him. And then when he finally returned, it was like, good for him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, you know, if this is the end, I think it's safe to say here at our podcast, thank you, Taker. Thank you for a great career. I remember, you know, his debut match like it was yesterday when he came out. You know, it's crazy to see the whole thing.
So here's the thing with that. I was 7 years old when it happened, when he came out in Survivor Series, and I remembered Mean Mark from the Skyscrapers, but I haven't really put everything together with wrestling yet, like what's going on. I thought he like died or something. Like, what happened to him? He left WCW and he died.
He died.
Now he's a corpse. Yeah, it was crazy. Like that sticks out to me. I don't know why, but when Andre Gonzalez first made his the Giant Gonzalez,
8 feet tall.
That stuck out to me. Because I remember just the way they initially booked him, where he just beat the garbage out of Taker.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
that's how they would do it. This big guy comes in.
And see, that was what.
And a lot of times they sucked.
Yeah.
And see, that was what 3 years later. So I'm 10 now. I'm like, that's Elegante. This is stupid.
Yeah. He's not a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He's not really naked. That's a bodysuit.
Yeah. I just like some of the first casket match. First of many.
Kamala.
Casket, but one with Yokozuna.
Well, that wasn't the first one. The first was Kamala.
Yeah. When they all jump him, and then the cameras inside the
Chuck
casket.
Norris.
Yeah.
That was the second one with Yoko.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane. And then nothing will beat when you're inside an arena and the lights turn off and the gong hits.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's really no, like, as a wrestling fan, I think that's what you want to experience at least once.
Yeah, totally. And one of the funny things with that is just so many memories of seeing him, like you said. Just the Ultimate Warrior getting locked in the casket. That was one of the first really big memories. And yeah, just seeing all the different things just live. I remember being so angry. King of the Ring 95.
Purple gloves versus gray gloves.
Yeah.
I hated that as a kid. Even as a kid, I didn't like
if
that.
you go back and watch it now, like, oh, this is a bad match. It's supposed to go on, but it was such a bad match. Like, that's it.
I was at one of the all-time bad pay-per-views ever, King of the Ring 95 at the old Spectrum. And you look at the brackets and you're like, we're going to get Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Yes! And then Shawn Michaels has a time limit draw with Kama.
Yeah.
And The Undertaker loses to Mabel. Like, oh, man. I'm going to start chanting ECW.
Yeah. King Mabel.
That's funny that you were at that pay-per-view because that was the first pay-per-view I ever bought. I had a paper route. My brother took me to buy like the special cable box, and then we bought the pay-per-view. Like, we saved up for like the two of us for like 6-7 weeks, just peddling papers, trying to get bigger tips. We finally like, here, Mom and Dad, here's the money. Go and get it. We paid for our own, and like, yeah, I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. I was like, oh, Shawn Michaels is definitely winning the King of the Ring tournament. He needed a 15-minute time limit draw with Kama, like the second match in, and it was just like, well, you know, you were there. You're like, wait, what? Terrible.
Michaels never won King of the Ring, did he?
No.
Never. Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
He kind of got pushed right to IC.
Did everything else, just never won King of the Ring.
Yeah, like the first year they did it, he was the Intercontinental Champion. He wrestled Crush, and then, yeah, from there on, he was. I think the second year he was in Diesel's corner because that's when they did Brett and Diesel for the title.
Hurt.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be a tough one to talk about. Chikara, done.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's over.
Allegations against Quack and Icarus.
Yeah.
And Kobold was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled Kobold.
So do you want you have a little bit of the information on this? What is being reported and what?
There's a story that some people know, some people don't, from a few years ago, and not to name names.
Yeah.
There was allegations of Mike Quackenbush having a relationship with one of the trainees. It wound up breaking up his marriage and led to Chikara going away for a while. And there's other things too about him using some homophobic slurs against some students. And there was a wrestler in Chikara for a while who had mental disabilities. And one of the other wrestlers, it was probably, I'm assuming Icarus, they didn't name names, would use the R word. We'll just say the R word about this guy to other people. So it was little things like that, improper things with female fans and trainees.
Yeah, one girl was posting on Twitter about her whole story, her interaction with Icarus and a couple of people.
Yeah.
So.
It's a shame, man, because A lot of good things have come from talent-wise.
Yeah, a lot of people have been through Chikara.
Tons of amazing stuff has been through Chikara, and it's a shame.
Yeah,
that,
I worked for them for like 2 years.
Yeah, both of you guys really kind of
trained there. So.
Yeah, so it sucks, man. I know Deshaun commented and said, "Man, this hurts."
Yeah,
you know.
And Bryce Remsburg for AEW is like it wasn't one Chikara wasn't one person. It was a group of people and like try to basically keep the positive memories of it.
Yeah.
And they had such an effect. Like, you don't get Orange Cassidy without Chikara. You don't get Chuck Taylor as he is now without Chikara.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people probably leave us through Chikara. You know?
It's like one of those things. The best way I can kind of describe, I'm not at what. Maybe this is the best way for me to put it into a perspective. I never really watched Chikara, and I never really dove into it, but I always knew it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of like I'm aware of Penn State, but I'm not a Penn State fan.
Right.
But then you see all these players and amazing talent who go through that feel like they're the ones who suffer when like the head goes under, like the Joe Pa thing. You know what I mean? And and the best thing you can do is just really remember the good memories and the amazing talent has come through there. And
obviously you feel bad for the people that are going through the school now, because
I think the school is basically done too.
Yeah,
I know Quaxley is stepping down as head trainer, but Hollowicket was also training, I think, and he left totally. So
yeah.
I would just say it's probably done. I mean, maybe somebody else will start a new one. Be like, well, you want to come here, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Listen, and this is not.
It was a good show for like $20, $15 when they do like Hellertown.
Yeah,
you could sit front row.
I still have posters on my wall in my bedroom. The old
oh yeah, the flashy, the multicolored ones.
I bought a shirt and a poster from Ultraman is Black, and he just packed posters in.
Yeah. The biggest thing that we could really say is takeaway is
also don't eat meat pamphlets.
Oh yeah, he's a very big vegetarian, and he loved Christmas.
Is the culture needs to change. The culture in pro wrestling needs a change, and people just need to be better people.
Man,
you know, and it just sucks that it had to go down like that. But
because the other one that's gone obviously is bar wrestling, which is in California, which is Joey Ryan's company. Their venue first backed out, and I don't think you're going to see Joey Ryan anytime soon anymore.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because as like a fan, obviously there was always grumblings and people knew things but just never said it, you know, and then. It was a guy who really put over intergender wrestling and put over female talent, but behind closed doors, he's burying them. You know what I mean? Or just being really, it just sucks, man. It really, it's horrible.
And Candice LeRae, I don't have the exact verbiage, but she put it because they were a tag team. They were
PWG tag champions.
World's cutest tag team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I don't know if we talked about it too much on the air. We're like, well, where's the line here when it comes to time? And it was something I was even talking to Brian with. It's like, sure, obviously, you know, you wait 5 years to tell your story, and I understand why in a certain way because you know, looking at more things because you're afraid to tell your story because the person has fame, and a lot of people who do tell their stories are attacked on social media, and they're attacked for telling the story because you're ruining the image of someone that people is beloved, you know, and then you don't come out with your story until someone else is brave enough to tell their story. So it's one of those things where it's like, I know we kind of talked about it, but I think here's the thing, a lot of things in the world right now that are crazy, I'm still struggling on how I'm going to process it as a human and then project it onto a podcast platform because it like everybody wants everything to be black and white, and there is tons of gray area, and we are still learning when it comes to these things. So it's tough, man. It's just the best thing and I know a lot of wrestlers on social media are saying, you know, I think I'm done with wrestling. I don't think I want to do it anymore.
And I say to them, this is everywhere.
Yeah,
this is in sports. This is in Hollywood.
It's
even in comics. Warren Ellis got busted.
Yeah,
the yellow.
Yeah.
If
it's
you're
not just wrestling.
If you're passionate about your craft, be the shining light that changes it. Be the person who sticks around and changes the culture.
Because you leaving ain't going to stop it.
No.
But you staying will help.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's the biggest thing. And look at it as like, hey, man, if 15 people who are bad for the business are all gone and they're top seats, 15 seats just open for you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I move up.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Take that.
Well said, sir.
Thank you.
Well said.
We'll kind of translate to this is not so much because of allegations, but NWA might be in some trouble.
Yeah, well, Dave Lagana, who was kind of the creative force behind it, and it was the vice president, I believe. He was forced out over some allegations, and they're not running any new shows. There's no plans to run new shows right now, even though Georgia things are pretty open now, and theoretically they could. Hopefully they regroup and they get some creative forces behind them and they keep moving forward. But it became a thing because Zicky Dice is now gone, and he was their reigning TV champion. That belt is cursed.
Everyone that gets leaves.
Or not cursed, or unless he's getting a big deal, then that it's a springboard.
Right.
Yeah,
because when they brought it back, the first champion was Ricky Starks. He's in
he got
AEW
signed,
now.
yeah,
And
so
now Zicky Dice.
Give me that TV belt, please. I don't know. I hope NWA doesn't go down. They can find some other people to help.
One of their top tag teams is Latimer and Royce Isaacs.
Yeah.
Latimer has a checkered past.
Yeah.
Get them out. Get Team Blue and Gold.
There you
in.
go. Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Team Blue and Gold to NWA. Start the trend going now.
Oh my God.
We need it.
B&G to NWA. There we go.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm very behind when it comes to NWA content.
Me too.
So I mean, everything I've heard about, like how we said Ziggy leaving, I've heard nothing but good things about Ziggy. I think they said he's super talented. Zicky.
Not the little guy on the greeting card.
Yeah. They said he's very talented. So hopefully it works out for him wherever he goes.
Yeah.
He kind of gets a little launching pad there.
And also Thunder Rosa, who's the women's champion. She hasn't said she's leaving or anything, but she's starting her own women's indie in Texas.
Yeah, she said the booker and like everything will be all women. Which is like might be a little hard to do some of the behind the scenes stuff with all women, but hey, if you can, why not?
One thing I would recommend people seek out, especially the first 2 episodes. They've been doing some
Wrestlelicious?
Wrestlelicious, baby.
We got beans and taters.
No, what I would NWA has been doing these shows. Most of them, there's Carneyland, which is like a sketch comedy thing, but they've been doing other things that are essentially video podcasts. And the one they do on Fridays is called Girl Power. And the first episode, the first 10 minutes or so, is Thunder Rosa just giving a very touching. It was right after Hana Kimura passed away, and she was very close to the family. Hana Kimura's mother was like a mother to her too, so she gives a very heartfelt kind of. I don't want to say eulogy, but statement about like just talking about how much that family affected her life. But the first 2 episodes, the first one is about kind of the treatment of women in wrestling. And then the second one came when there was a lot of this unrest and was about kind of what's going on in the world culturally now with Black Lives Matter and things like that. So if you have time, I would check out those first 2 episodes of Girl Power because there's some very insightful stuff in there. It's Thunder Rosa, Marty Bell's involved, Allison Kay. So I would definitely check that out.
Real life friends, kind of all the girls and
Cool.
just about.
Listen, man, like that's why I think a lot of us, even on this podcast, are really, really happy for the women's movement in pro wrestling because it was always kind of known of the treatment they go through and the things they have to go through to enter the business, and now they're main event and pay-per-views, and some of the matches are even outshining some of the guys' matches, and it's like good for them. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's good to see. It is really good to see, and hopefully even now this new culture, this new thing brings change where they even feel even more comfortable.
Yeah, and. Yeah, obviously it's horrible how many people are getting the end, but if you look back at wrestling in the 70s and the 80s...
To be nobody except Steamboat Noon.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about
it. You would hear things about... Like, they used to make jokes. Like, Ric Flair would talk about how the Rock and Roll Express would have training bras thrown at them.
Yeah.
Like, if you think it's bad now, wrestling has... I always remember one of the early Colt Cabana podcasts, he had Kofi Kingston on. He's talking about how, like, back then you would hear all these stories about how they're drinking and driving. And so he's like, I go back to the hotel room, I play the PlayStation, and I FaceTime my wife.
Yeah.
Like, that was his routine.
They get the styrofoam cooler and fill it with ice and fill it with beer and drink beers and drive to the next town.
Yeah.
Like massive beers and do drugs.
And that was super common.
And then cheat on their wife. And it was like, this is what we do.
Yeah. It was a rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got here? Well, there's AEW NXT news, but we'll get to that when we get to that point of the show. Let's get into what happened, I guess, recently in wrestling, and we'll start with the New Japan Cup.
Mm-hmm. So I'm behind. I got to catch up. I know what happened.
Oh, Andy Header. Come on
I have no
now.
time. I mean, when you work and then you go to the
it.
gym and then you go do his podcast.
Gyms are back. How's that been going?
Good.
I heard you have to wear a mask now.
Not that one, because that's we had the local one. So yeah, that's Anytime Fitness, which like I get wearing a mask in a store. I tell people like, okay, I understand.
They're not wearing them at the
minutes.
store. I could.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't.
I was at a store
ridiculous.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and the people
Yeah.
working there weren't
But
wearing.
I understand that, but imagine asking someone to run on a treadmill for 15 minutes wearing a mask. You can't do it.
I just sit in
Yeah,
an
you're
MRI
right. I could not run on a treadmill.
I just sit in an MRI machine for 2 hours with a mask on. Yeah,
Oh,
like I already felt
God.
claustrophobic the way it was, but then the mask on top of it, I was like, dude.
And like
please.
I know some people wear the high elevation, like, but that's when you're hardcore.
I just thought of a treadmill. I gotta go stand by that fan for a little bit.
it's counterproductive. So if your gym's doing that, I'd say work at home.
Yeah.
Work out at home.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, the must-see match is obviously the best match. Probably the whole tournament is Nagata and Okada.
yeah, I seen that.
And then probably the
Okay.
second best match of the whole tournament is was Suzuki and Nagata.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
Nagata, yeah, I mean, a guy
And he's
who's
52.
late 40s, because he's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Probably the two best matches.
I watched Okada and Nagata yesterday, and I got such a Ric Flair vibe from Okada. Like, just the way he
can
kind
wrestle anybody.
Yeah, he can wrestle anybody. He's obviously more athletic than Flair ever was, but just that vibe. Like, he's that chameleon that can have anybody's match, and just the hold for hold and the submission. It was a phenomenal match.
So my thing I haven't got a chance to watch any of the New Japan Cup because
Tony, you will love Toru Yano versus Yano versus Hiromu Takahashi.
That'll be your favorite wrestler.
You will love that. You'll love Yano. Yano's your guy.
I have been
He'll be
doing
wearing a
this
Yano
thing.
shirt
Yeah,
in-
I've been
in
doing
2
this
weeks.
thing
So
where
they selling some pirated DVDs.
Yeah.
I've been going back and watching. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm not trying to get caught up, but I am slowly watching WCW.
I'm trying to get caught up on a company that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, then you will eventually get caught up.
Yeah,
Until he's like sitting here, he's like, there's no new episodes, guys. It's like,
Whatever happened
it
to that
stopped in
DDP?
2000, bro.
Yeah, I actually even with the laptop, and if I'm going to be out of work for a while, I may even like live stream reactions or just talk
That's
about
what
what I'm
we should
watching.
have, like Conrad does.
Yeah.
What are they called?
We should do live
alongs.
reactions of the pay-per-views.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd hear it in our headphones, but they want to hear it.
Yeah.
So it's just us talking about.
So and I watched Flair versus Arn Anderson.
okay.
Oh, from Fall Brawl, right?
Yeah, that's the only time Aaron got a title shot.
Holy shit, man! What a good fucking match.
Yeah.
Like, oh my! I didn't realize. Like, I knew how good Flair was, but just kind of going back and watching just even one match of it's just like Jesus Christ.
There's that Starrcade that year. There was I'm thinking that was the year. Yeah, it was 95, right?
Yeah.
There's that Starrcade. There's a 3-way match for the WCW title at the main event. Phenomenal. You'll love it.
It's just crazy how Flair was flabby, but also had 6-pack abs, which made no sense.
That's Jericho and like now.
Yeah.
Or like, at least Jericho
Well,
a couple years
that's
ago.
most of the guys on GH now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just I don't know, man. It was just I'm just going back and rewatching
There's
all
a lot of
WCW.
good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of shit, but there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's you definitely have to sift through it.
That's like any era, any time in wrestling, though. It's like shit, great.
Yeah.
Great shit.
Yeah.
There's a
shit,
lot of
great.
stuff like in like 91, 92 WCW. Like, oh, that's when like what's his name, Big Josh and stuff. Yeah, just a lot of good
'Cause
matches.
people,
there. Rick
like-
Rude, Dangerous Alliance.
The way
The
they think about
Steiners against
Yeah.
Fujinami and the guy that just retired with the claw thing. I can't Azuka.
Yeah.
They beat the hell out of Azuka.
the way
Oh my
people
God.
think about the Attitude Era, like everyone's like, it was the best time ever. It's like they don't remember how much shit
The
there
wrestling
was.
Truth Commission
Yeah.
versus Oddities. Oh, that's a great one.
You know what I mean? Or just the dumb shit like chopping valve, tweet chop PP, like
Yeah.
just the dumb shit they would do in the Attitude Era, dude.
I'm going to tell you one thing I've seen about that Fall Brawl though, and then we'll jump back into New Japan.
Did you see the Renegade yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
DDP
oh, you
just
weren't
beat
here
him for the title.
You weren't here. He was watching a little bit then before we watched Backlash, and I was sitting there watching with him. Was like, oh, there's DDP, and then Max Muscles coming out and was like, oh, I know who he's wrestling here.
The Ultimate.
The Renegade comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see Steve McMichael wrestle yet?
No.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, here's who I did just see
He's a
wrestle.
shitter.
I just seen Bruce the Barber Beefcake as fucking Zodiac, and oh boy, was that awful.
But you gotta go. He was. What was his first name?
Brother Brudai.
Brother Brudai. Then became the Barber. Then he was the Butcher.
Booty
Butcher.
Man.
Yeah. Then
Booty Man.
Yeah. Then he was.
The man with no name.
Yeah, and then he was Zodiac, and then he
The Booty Man.
Booty Man, and then the Disciple.
But here's the thing too, and it kind of reminded me of I instantly became a fan of this guy because I was a fan of him when he was in WWF.
Shark.
Shark. I liked Earthquake for how big he was. He was very athletic.
I liked him too.
Here is
His-
the dedication that man had.
here I know.
Earthquake, John 10 to the Shark. He was he went to Louisiana State University, the LSU Tigers. And if you watch him when he was Earthquake, he had a big tattoo of a tiger on his arm. And when they gave him that gimmick, he got it changed to a shark.
Yep.
That's how
Oh.
much dedication he had to that
And
character.
before that, he was Avalanche.
Yeah,
Which is
It
a
was
terrible
just,
name.
It was just Earthquake. It
Yeah.
was Earthquake in a new
Warning!
single.
Warning! There's an avalanche warning. It's like that's so.
And then
lame.
when he was a shark, he wanted to bite all the Hulkamaniacs.
Yeah.
That's what he would say. Have you gotten to the Dungeon of Doom skit where Hulk Hogan goes there? It is the funniest thing ever.
It's not even hot.
It's not. There's no Hulkamaniacs here. And he just goes out of nowhere. I've never been here before.
It seems like, you know how we were talking...
You would talk movie match, White Castle of Fear.
Yeah. Remember how we said, like, there's so much convoluting going on right now in NXT where it seems like 14 people are all going for the title at once, and there's all this... That's what seems like is happening right now in WCW when I'm watching it. You have, like...
Well, they're building to something, and that's why.
Hulk Hogan is fighting with the Dungeon of Doom or Legion of Doom.
Right.
At the same time, the Giant is attacking him and running over his motorcycle. But then also Lex Luger is sneaking in there. So there's all these different...
That's the best when you have like 4 or 5 guys all going for...
I don't want to spoil what's coming up, but there's a reason they did that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I'm as someone who didn't watch the product then, I'm trying to re-educate myself and go back and learn. So
you're coming up on that Halloween Havoc with the monster truck match.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
oh my God,
Cobo Hall.
I'm already excited. That sounds fantastic. But all right, so who's this guy in Japan? I think you guys.
Toru Yano.
I don't think you're gonna. I hate him.
T-O.
No, you actually might like him.
Will adore
T-O-R-U, and then space. That's his first name. His last name is Y-A-N-O. You can just type in Yano, New Japan, and that's your new favorite wrestler.
Like, did you like Santino Marella?
I wasn't watching when he was there. Yeah.
Well, he's like Santino Marella.
He's basically our truth for New Japan. He's the comic relief.
Oh, I'm already. And you said he bootlegs wrestling shows and sells them?
He always has DVDs. Like, he'll always have these DVDs he's selling. You know how they have the pads like boxing has on the thing? He'll always rip them off and hit people with them.
Oh my God, this guy sounds fantastic.
He tapes people to the ring and to each other. And
his main offense is a low blow.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
You're gonna love Yano.
He's just a big goofball.
I'm excited.
And yet, I remember a few years ago when one of those U.S. shows, he was like probably the second or third
Yeah,
best
what
guy.
a pop he
They
had.
loved Yano.
Yeah. So what else happened with New Japan that was...
Well, now we're into the second round, right?
Yeah,
the second round is ongoing.
We took a big
They
detour
just
there.
they just did the first bracket of the second round. So now the semis, and I think it's like the bottom left bracket is going to be. I'll put these for 2 bangers: Hiromu Takahashi versus Tomohiro Ishii,
That should be good.
and Taiji Ishimori versus the greatest wrestler in the world today, Okada. Yeah.
And then
So,
what it's Sonata versus
They're still doing the second round. The other side, you have Taichi against Kota coming up, Sonata against Sho.
okay.
And then
That should be good.
Yoshihashi and Bushi. I can't speak today. Yoshihashi and Bushi.
That's like on the lower end of the spectrum.
And
It
then
might be good.
Evil and Goto. Is
And
that
who's
should be
and
pretty
Evil
good.
is Io Shirai's husband.
Yes.
fiance.
Fiance. And you said who's the guy that says you think by the time he wrestles in 2024 he'll be naked?
Oh, that's Okada.
Okada?
Because Okada always would wear almost like the MMA shorts, like the short.
Like Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Billy Gunn or Keith Lee would wear.
And they're getting smaller and smaller.
No, well, what happened was he went to long tights like Scotty Too Hot. I call him Okadi Too Hotty because he had like Scotty Too Hotty flare pants, like the wide legs. And then there was the big reveal last year at the Tokyo Dome that he was back to the shorts again.
Yeah.
And now he's in trunks. And it's like, yeah, he's going to be naked by 2024.
I don't like the trunks. I like his little biker shorts.
I think the smallest you can
The
get.
thing with New Japan, though, is like it's distinctive because most guys don't wear them. Like Minoru wears them, Nagata, like some of the older guys.
Just
But
the older guys. And
I think we had the minus what I
And the
seen
young
once
lions.
at UFC pay-per-view. I think the smallest trunks I've ever seen used in
I know
professional wrestling is going to be hands down Sonny Kiss. I don't.
Oh well, he the side of his is actually that fake where it's skin color.
I understand, but
I know they do go up his ass.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Well,
none
I
of
want
the
you to
bits-
write down "sexy Eddie" with 3 X's.
Yeah,
I have
You type that in YouTube.
As a matter of fact, if you have an HDMI, or I'll show you after this match, the Clusterfuck Battle Royal from last year's Joey Janela Spring Break, and you'll see a lot of Sexy Eddie.
yeah. The whole time watching Sonny, I was like, man, how is nothing falling out of there? That was. I mean, it's flirting with that disaster.
You know who else is up there? Tyler Black, a.k.a. Seth Rollins from Ring of Honor.
Oh, he used to have that, and they used to say back in the day, Lex Luger's tights would not come up enough.
Really?
Yeah, they said they were too low.
Ahmed Johnson would
Tyler
always
Black
get like
had
wedgies.
small
He'd
ones.
have a cheek hanging out a lot.
He would.
But we'll talk more on Sonny Kiss later because Heidi had a really funny comment. Not inappropriate, but actually it's a compliment. But
Yes.
she doesn't know anything about Sonny Kiss. So when she's seen him wrestle, she said something. We'll get into later. But yeah. So
And another thing with New Japan, looks like they are definitely have a direction for the next tag title match. It certainly looks like it's going to be Tanahashi and Kota against Taichi and Zack Sabre.
How about
Jr.
that coat Tanahashi had? That was awesome. With the spikes coming off, or whatever they call them, wings, or it looked awesome.
I have a thing with gear, but we'll get to it when we go over the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, count me in for that tag match because that Taichi Tanahashi match, man. Tanahashi, is he the greatest storyteller in history of pro wrestling? I mean, he's up there with Bret Hart. It's like so Tanahashi. I know you didn't see it yet, so Tanahashi gets up. It's the main event of that night. And he does his pose, and Taichi comes behind him and power bombs him. Which usually that doesn't happen in New Japan. So and then like the whole match, he's getting thrown out, and like El Desperado and Kanemaru. Yeah, excuse me. They're all beating him up, and you're just like, okay, we know how this is going to end. It's the main event. No way Tanahashi's going to overcome the odds. And then they start doing their policies. Like, no, maybe Tanahashi isn't. Oh, yeah, he's going to come back. Oh, maybe he isn't. Oh, yeah, he's going to come back. And then it's like his selling, there's nobody there. But his selling is so legit and so real. Like, you just feel like there's actual people there. It's amazing. It's amazing. He's just on a completely different level than everybody else, like, ever in the history of the business, like, when it comes to certain things. He's so good.
And there's a guy that benefited from 3 months off.
Tanahashi?
Yeah, definitely. Because he kept,
his body's
he
so
kept
beat
going
up,
and going, and his arm and his leg.
I don't know if it was his match I've ever seen, but there was a few New Japan matches I did see like clips of, and these guys just fucking throw caution to the wind, just throw their bodies out there. They're like,
That's why you should watch Suzuki versus Nagata.
Yeah.
some of the
To a lesser extent,
some of the bumps and power bombs and punches and kicks they throw, it's like, holy fuck, guys.
to a lesser extent, Makabe and Ishii this past show too.
It's like, back off just a hair.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Back off just a hair. You're going to kill each other.
And there was a great spot too with the match between Ishimori and Kanemaru, where Kanemaru's going to spray spit the fireball in Ishimori's face, and he pulls his mouth shut, and he makes him swallow the fireball. He's just like gagging.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So anything else with New Japan before we
No,
move
if
on
you
here?
do every day they're live, right, with Japanese commentary. 2 days later, Kevin Kelly does the English commentary.
Cool.
So if you want to wait for English commentary, 2 days.
Okay. I know my website that I was using isn't super reliable anymore.
Oh, okay.
None of the links kind of work. At
Time
least
of-
from a phone. I mean,
Taima TV.
Yeah. What's it?
Taima. TAIMA.TV.
That works too.
Mhm.
I'll check that one out.
Or New Japan World, NJPW World.
Yeah.
999 yen.
Yeah, it comes out to like $8.99.
I'm trying to find somewhere where I could watch
It's well worth it.
Impact as well.
Oh, the Taima, yeah.
Yeah. I was using that all things wrestling or whatever. All things
Yeah,
wrestling.
I used to watch that too.
And there's
Yeah.
two, like the pop-ups take over the site, and you can't
Yeah.
ever watch the actual stream.
I have a virus on my phone from that, dude. And my girlfriend's like, yeah, I'm sure it's from that. I'm like, listen, if it was from porn, I'd admit it. It's literally from that. Like,
Porn safe as hell down on phones.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Pornhub got
that
their
Taima,
stuff.
I use that on my Fire Stick now. That's how I watch AEW. I'm like, oh, my TV, woo.
Yeah. So I'll check that one out. SmackDown.
And we're going to get right to what I was saying about the gear here. We opened SmackDown with the presentation of the Intercontinental Championship to AJ Styles. I love AJ's new tights. The blue with the Japanese writing on them.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
And AJ was so good here, I thought.
Yeah, he was great.
Because he's just being the cocky prick. He wants Bryan to present the title. Renee's not worthy to do it. And then he's goading Bryan to talk. And then when Bryan talks, he shuts him down. And Bryan's trying to lobby for anybody to get a shot. Gulag, anybody. And AJ just does that chicken thing, like, no, I'll defend when I want to defend. And it all leads to Matt Riddle coming out. And Matt Riddle kind of making that challenge. And, I mean, there's a guy we didn't talk about when the allegations thing happened. But for now, he's on there. And this all wound up with Matt Riddle against AJ Styles. And Matt Riddle gets the win in his main roster debut in a non-title match.
probably the best debut for somebody from NXT in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see more from them. I want to see Matt Riddle with Daniel Bryan, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, do it. Like, see, but they'll probably do a three-way because that's what they do. Three-way. But
It's always interesting what
Hey,
they
whatever.
have the guys use because you went with the Bro Derek.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny they let him even use that because they talk about data reference.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they didn't change. They gotta change the name. Well, actually, for Vince, that's right down his alley. That's
Yeah.
right up his alley. That was
yeah.
when Vince was in his prime. She was hot.
She's still one of the top 10, right?
She's a 10.
Her and Lonnie Anderson. It's like, whoa, Vince. Like, oh, Jesus.
That's why I had Burt Reynolds at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next match?
The next thing was the Jeff Hardy interview. Very emotional. Like, kind of. I thought Jeff was really good here. Like, it sucks that they're kind of drawing on this stuff again, but he's really putting some genuine emotion behind it. And it's weird because usually he's not the best actor in the world, but he's been doing well here. And then we had Shorty G backstage where he's talking about how Mojo's a little bigger and He's got all his height and weight advantage, but
I'm a way better wrestler.
well, he didn't say that because at the point Mojo's behind him now, and he's kind of making fun of him. He's like, "But I've got eyes in the back of my head." He just turns around and slugs Mojo and walks out. And then Shorty G beats Mojo Rawley in the actual match.
Mojo, he reminds me of, if he had long hair, he could be the Renegade.
Yeah, it's a little better than that, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think with him,
Maybe.
I think with Mojo, if this was the 80s, he would be an evil Russian.
Yeah, he would be, yeah.
He'd be like a shitty Nikita Koloff.
Yeah.
It's just they just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
if they did, it's like,
How much mileage you going to get out
Yeah.
of him?
It's gonna be funny in like 10 years from now. We're gonna go back and look at like a Mojo Rawley and be like, oh, he was the hype bro, and then he did this weird Luna Vachon face paint for 3 weeks, and then
Remember he did that and lost it and brought back and talked
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
dark room, and it's like,
yeah,
oh,
and
Jesus.
then they never did anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just can't stop thinking of Luna Vachon's voice now.
Yeah. Put them. She's dead. She's dead, right?
She died.
Yeah, she
I
died.
was like,
Yeah.
oh man, bring her back. And
Oh,
manage
speaking
him.
of
Her son was on Hell's Kitchen. He was on some kind of reality show.
She had a towing business then.
Really?
Yeah. After
Wow.
wrestling.
just to kind of go back to managers, one of the things with the WCW thing that just really, I was like, my gosh.
Colonel Robert Parker.
Oh,
Whoa.
him and he's doing a thing with
Sherry.
Sherry,
Sherry,
which
yeah.
is she's got to be. If I know, Bobby is number one, but
Yeah.
she's got to be
She's
right.
right, yeah.
She's right there behind
Yeah.
him. Greatest of all time. She's fantastic.
There's a guy you don't like that's probably the second best manager of all time.
Cornette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cornette's too.
Sherry was so good.
She was. Yeah. She
was
was very
excellent.
good.
If you watch, you might have watched it back in the day. You might have been watching at this point. You might have been a little young. WrestleMania 7, one of my favorite matches ever, the retirement match with Savage and the Ultimate Warrior. That match is amazing. Randy Savage does about 80% of the work, and Sherry does about 15%.
Yeah. And she's and that one match with Hogan and Flair at WCW, the first world title match. She's
Or no,
jumping
the,
off the cage.
Halloween Havoc one, the one
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like title career versus career, the title match.
Yeah, she's doing a lot in that one.
She's bumping all over the place. She's jumping off the cage in her underwear. It's
Hogan
amazing.
punches her. And it's,
Michaels used to say, because when Sherry was with Savage and DiBiase, and they were two of the top heels at the time. So then she went with Michaels, and Michaels did his heel turn to help him really bump him up. They said back then, because Michaels obviously was a smaller heel for that time, not a lot of guys would sell. So it would be in the heat part of the match where Michaels would be like bumping somebody and they wouldn't sell. And then Sherry would be like, throw him out to me. So Michaels would shit can and then distract the referee. And then the guy would get back in the ring, and she's just like, if you don't start selling for Sean, I'm going to have him throw you back out to me again. And they would start selling for Sean.
Yeah.
So people don't realize.
Sean was saying
how,
that guys would come back in and they'd have their back is bleeding because Sherry would dig her nails into their back and kick the shit out of them and go, do your job, and send them back in.
Yeah.
And it's not like a blowaway match or anything, because there wasn't really that high of a bar for women's wrestling in WWF in the 80s. It's not like Jumping Bomb Angels, which was like the best around that point.
Yeah.
But if you look through the network, there's a Primetime Wrestling from late 1988. I remember because this is around the time my family first got a VCR, and Primetime Wrestling was on late, so they would record it and I would watch it at other points. The first one they ever had was that Halloween episode where they go to the hot dog place.
okay, yeah.
And, classic. But this one, they did one a little bit after that from Paris. And it was like all these matches from Paris, and it's where Rockin' Robin wins the title from Sherry. And it's a good match. It's a really good match.
Yeah.
look for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next thing on SmackDown was Miz TV. It was basically Mandy Rose was kind of taking over Miz TV, and they're kind of like doing little digs at Otis. Miz is like, we have to address the elephant in the room, and Morrison goes, Otis, and just little things like that throughout there, and it all leads to Sonya Deville coming out, and it's basically, it was fine. Like, her delivery's great. I like the persona she has now, where she's wearing the tie and she's like the boss. Or not like Sasha Banks boss, like almost like a mob boss type, or like a CEO type.
Hitman.
The only problem is it's basically the same thing she's been saying for the last 3 months.
Exactly. Yep.
They're not really they're not letting them build the story.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, oh, you get all the breaks.
Running in circles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're ugly on the inside, and I'm going to make you... The big thing now is she's going to try to make Mandy ugly on the outside, too.
Dude, but how awesome would you have to let her shave Mandy's head?
Oh, God.
That'd be dope.
And then Otis is like, nope.
Yeah.
You're not my peach anymore.
Oh, that would be
Shave
hilarious.
Otis's
That's
head
Otis's
instead.
heel turn. Otis is like,
Yeah.
I only liked you for your looks, Mandy. Your personality kind of sucks.
Yeah.
People were like, what?
You son of a bitch.
You were hot before, but now you're looking like trash.
If that's the angle, would you be a fan of Otis?
Yes, absolutely. I'll go buy an Otis shirt that day. He comes out the next week with glasses on. He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a new hottie." He like goes up to all the divas.
He just keeps trying to buy Mandy wigs. She's like, "No, I'm wearing this as a
with
badge
his
of honor."
half shirt with a tie over.
Yeah,
it.
that'd be hilarious.
And everyone in the locker room, like every girl in the locker room, just swooned by him.
Yeah.
They're just like,
And then he does the Ric Flair gimmick. My hotel room.
he's the new sexy boy.
And then he goes to Naya or something.
He's the new sexy
Oh
boy.
boy.
Shayna Baszler's like, oh my god, he's gorgeous.
Shayna Baszler doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
She's not even on main event.
Yeah.
That's how far down the card she
that's
is.
such a shame.
Yeah, it sucks.
So then our next match was the New Day beating Lucha House Party in a non-title tag match. And the next tag feud clearly is going to be Nakamura and Cesaro against the New Day, which those matches should be really good.
Yeah, I hope they win
Yeah.
the belts then.
Yeah.
They need to give Cesaro something. Jesus.
Give him the AEW.
Yeah, let that guy go.
Give him no Japan.
Let him anywhere where he can actually.
I mean, I'm glad they're
showcase.
together. So, get some
Yeah,
good
and it
matches.
doesn't
out
seem
of
like Sami Zayn's going to be coming in around
No.
They
anytime
both
soon.
they both can waste their time together. You
it.
know.
Yeah.
Cesaro's like,
I wonder-
how much more time you got, Nakamura? Nakamura's
Yeah.
like, I just resigned.
Yeah.
Cesaro's like, well, I'm fucking out of here. So,
I
good
wonder
luck.
how this works for contracts. I know when you're injured and if you're
They
not
freeze
working,
you, yeah.
they
It
freeze
depends.
you.
It depends how much they care. Like if
Like if Kevin Owens
don't care, then they
if
just
Kevin
let you
Owens'
go.
contract has like a year on it and he
Oh,
doesn't
I'm
wrestle
sure
for
they're-
that year,
Oh, they'll-
because-
they'll freeze it.
yeah, they'll
Yeah.
freeze it.
I think he just signed a new deal too, though.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how
They're
that
probably
works.
like he's a guy. They're probably like, oh, you're not gonna come. We'll show you.
Yeah.
Main event. You know, like Roman's okay, but like Kevin Owens, it might punish him a little.
Yeah.
And that's
I hope
wrong,
not.
but
Yeah.
that's how they are.
Kevin's like, do what we gotta do because as soon as you put me on camera, I'm gonna fucking win the
Yeah.
whole place over again.
That'll be his punishment. They won't put him on camera. Like, you only see him on main event.
You have Hulu, you can watch Kevin Owens.
All right, and our next.
Next thing, we had a whole thing where a bunch of people were trying to vie for Bailey, Dana Brooke, Tamina, Alexa, Naomi, Lacey Evans, but Nikki Cross isn't around. So something interesting there. Then they have an interview in the back with Sheamus. Basically, they're teasing that this coming Friday they're going to be doing a champagne toast for Jeff Hardy. Why not an Irish
Sheamus can
whiskey
come on and be
toast?
like, you're a junkie.
It should be like raising. I guess I don't want to plug like specific. Raise a shot of whiskey for Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy.
Yeah.
So then we have.
Good old
Get some proper 12.
Proper
That's
12.
right.
So then we did find out what happened with Nikki Cross because Bailey and Sasha are out on commentary, and here comes Nikki to attack them. Alexa comes out to help, and we have a pull-apart brawl, which leads to an impromptu match where Sasha Banks defeats Nikki Cross.
The match she didn't want, and Bailey's like, she accepts. Because they keep making her push her in all the matches, and Sasha's like, God damn it.
So
Just
then,
slowly building towards that turn.
Yep.
and then we close with the Firefly. I can't speak today. I'm awful. The Firefly Funhouse. And Bray welcomes everybody back. He's just letting everybody know what he did while he was gone. He joined a book club. He learned some new TikTok moves. He learned how to resurrect the dead. He learned how to knit. And
Learn how to change another set of diapers.
pretty much. And so they
I found out if you don't cheat on your wife, the marriage works.
And 2 kids.
so basically they did a thing where Wyatt, Ramblin' Rabbit talks about how he's not over losing to Braun. And Braun has this unique power now where he can interrupt video packages and come out to the ring because he did it to Miz and Morrison too. And he basically comes out and says, we're done. Like, you had your chance, you lost. Yeah, we're done. And Wyatt says that chapter is over, like my chapter, Bray with the brown shirt and Firefly Funhouse. But I wasn't lying when I said I could resurrect the dead. And then we get the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, the old school Hawaiian shirt, Panama hat, halfway Cajun Bray Wyatt. So we have a real Three Faces of Foley thing going on. We're now going to have
love
the
it.
Fiend, you're going to have Firefly Bray, and you're going to have
That's
old school
That's
Bray.
the cool thing is when Bray was like the top of his game, everyone was like, "Oh, he's the next Undertaker," but he's not. He's the next McFoley. Like he's gonna be the 3, and dude, his career's gonna go so much longer now. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect.
Because I think they realize now that his stuff has a shelf life, and this allows him to recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem with him is it kind of disconnects when the match happens.
Yeah.
You're kind of like,
Yeah.
Unless he's in there with somebody really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And they're kind of adjusting that by not having him have matches right now, because there's going to be another. I'm not looking forward to it. It seems like the Bray and Braun is going to be a cinematic match.
Yeah, that already got it. Like
The horror match.
House of Horrors 2.
This is my nightmare. So this is going to be.
And that's for and that was SmackDown, right?
That
Yep.
was SmackDown, yeah.
All right, let's move over to Raw.
On Raw, we begin. I'm just going to scroll down here because I don't remember where we began.
A long-winded promo?
Hype video.
Money's on long-winded promo.
Yes, it was Drew McIntyre coming out.
Actually, this wasn't too bad of a promo though.
No, it wasn't bad.
Drew's been pretty good. I like Drew. I think Drew's been running with the ball as best.
Yeah,
he
I
can
think he's
given
been a
the
great champion.
circumstances.
He's more entertaining than the last couple champions they've had.
Yeah. So he's kind of cut this promo, and then Dolph Ziggler interrupts, and he says,
I dug this.
I like what they did
Even
here.
though it's a throwaway, but it's fun.
I like what they did here, where obviously Drew's the babyface and Dolph's the heel, because they were together before. Drew's happy to see him. Like, he's happy he's there.
And the funny thing is when this rivalry ended, Dolph was the babyface, and he was the heel.
And then Dolph kind of turns it on him by kind of crapping on Drew, and like, I brought you here. I'm the reason you're the champion.
How about Big Daddy Claymore, where they kind of
Yeah.
tease the Shawn Diesel?
And how about this, that we learned that when AJ Styles got traded to SmackDown, he was traded for Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
Because
Who is the
that
GM
is an
of
equal
Raw?
trade.
Yeah, they should be fired.
What I was thinking of, remember when Triple H got drafted to SmackDown, and then right away they traded him to Raw the next night?
Yeah,
he got
yeah,
he got traded for Booker T and the Dudley Boys. So I was like, they got to add one more person. That's only fair. It's Dolph, Rude, and Ollie.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
It's something I don't
So
know.
my thing is, maybe this is the way they introduce Sam Hinkie as the general manager of Raw, because they're tanking.
Yeah.
They're trying to get better draft picks.
Realistically, if booked properly, they're not two bad guys to have on your roster.
They're not, but they're not
Ziggler and
AJ
Rude, but
Styles.
they're not AJ. Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
Yeah. And what's his name can't leave Canada.
I don't think two
Bobby
mid
Roode.
Carders equal like
Yeah.
one of
I
the top
think
guys in the company.
Ziggler is just so damaged from poor booking for the years.
Yeah,
like,
he
no, one,
is.
no one's like that.
Yeah, I'm not
he's
saying
gonna win.
Ziggler's shitty. He's not,
Yeah,
obviously.
he's good in the ring, but
I
Neither
was
is
saying-
Bobby Roode. It's just like
His
yeah,
character-
I
but-
was saying that online, like
nothing.
no one in the right mind thinks Dolph's going to win. And then some
Yeah.
guys say, well, that's why when it happens, it'll be shocking.
won't
And I'm like,
happen.
it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, that's even worse
Yeah.
because he wasn't built for it to win a
Yeah.
title. What the hell does that say
Like,
about
that
Drew
was-
if he loses to Dolph?
That
Yeah.
was my big problem with Jinder. Is like it came out of nowhere and they didn't really build to it. It's
No.
like,
If he
oh,
would've
we're
said,
giving
look at
Jinder
this-
push. Oh, he's
yeah.
a champion.
Look at this new move, and they beat a bunch of people
Yeah.
with it. Like, oh, well, okay.
A full Nelson Slam of all things.
Yeah.
It's like, what a brutal move.
The Uncle Slam from the Patriots.
So then we had Nia Jax come out to do some commentary for a little bit. She's complaining about Charlotte, and she was cheated out of her match because of John Cone.
Charlotte.
But here comes our truth. He says he has a match with an evil ninja, and then he accuses Nia Jax of being Tozawa in disguise. You're gonna love Yano. Tony.
I wish they
You're
could.
gonna love
I wish
Yano.
they would have pulled some special effect shit where like she would have like zippered herself
Yeah,
down, and it would have
it was
been and
Tozawa.
it was Tozawa would stand there.
I like how Tozawa then just stands at the commentary table and just screams. Like,
Well, that's the new thing now. If you're Japanese or Chinese
Yeah.
or whatever, it's just like you just go out there and scream in Japanese.
Yeah.
It's like
Tozawa
I'm Chinese. It's like it doesn't matter. Go out there.
Tozawa just seems like he's like, all right, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous, but if I get to work with All Truth, I'll have the most fun I can with it. That's what it seems
I
like.
just wish I was there for the pitch meeting. Like they call him in. And they're like, Tozawa, we know you've been cruiserweight champion. We know you're an actually good wrestler, but this is gonna this
You're
is
going to
the thing
lose
that takes you
every
up
match
top.
in the tournament.
No, I'm not. I'm not even that.
And he's like, okay,
Oh, no,
what is
win
it?
every match and then not get
That's
the finals.
Kushida.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but
Yeah, that's Kushida.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tozawa won some, lost some in the tournament, but
No, he
Tony
was-
Nese was the guy that lost everything.
He was doing great
yeah, there's a point where he was
NXT,
2-0 in the tournament and just lost every week on
yeah,
Raw.
and
yeah.
then on Raw he was getting squashed. Yeah.
It's like we're gonna pitch you to be a ninja,
Yeah, what do you think about that?
and he's like, what? They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna be a ninja, but don't worry, you're gonna have a giant black guy.
Yeah.
He's like, "Shut the
And it's
fuck
going to turn out he's a basketball
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Ain't that original?
He's gonna dunk.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna fix the race relation problems and have the black and white join together to beat up you. And you're like,
Yeah.
are we fucking serious? Is this
We,
what?
we did a comment at me. That's how I'll put them together.
He's like,
The Asians.
oh, you guys aren't joking. You guys are 100% serious.
That's
on this.
exactly how the FTR thing went. When they went to go pitch the idea of them wearing the clocks and like the weird outfits, they started laughing. And then like Vince had like a sour puss, and like the Scott was like, "Stop it!" And he was like, "Oh shit, you're serious? Like you really want to wear this shit? Like what the fuck?" And they were like, "Yeah, wear it, but we're out of here, though, dude." Like, all right,
It's like, oh my god, this is a great rib.
yeah, that's what they thought.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah.
Oh, this is real. Yeah.
So then we had Charlotte come out, and Charlotte and Nia jawed back and forth for a little
Oh
bit.
god, it just sucks. We'll get into Charlotte, but Jesus Christ.
I don't know if
Yeah.
this is true or not, but like I seen someone made a meme of it that Charlotte has had 67 title shots in like the 8 years she's been on. And I'm
Maybe.
like, what?
And
There's
she's
no
won
way it could be
55
that.
of them.
Like, can
Yeah.
it really be that fucking high?
I don't.
She's
Yeah, I
a
don't
12-time
know.
champion.
Yeah. She gets a
I
lot of
guess.
chances.
But I feel like that's too high. I feel like that can't be right. 67.
Yeah, 67. Well, she's what, like 11-time champ, right?
12.
12, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
So then they kind of teased that Charlotte might have hurt her arm in this fight too, and then we have a little hype thing for the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. And we have a match. First of all, the Street Profits make their big entrance, not socially distancing, going out in the crowd, spreading the COVID. And then
that's exactly how, listen, no one else got COVID, and now all of a sudden everyone has COVID.
What's in that cup?
It sounds to me like Montez Ford is the,
He's
patient zero.
patient zero.
Guys, I don't mean to cut you out, but I have some breaking news. I'm on the Twitter. This is from PW Insider, who's pretty reputable.
Go ahead.
Impact Wrestling terminates Tessa Blanchard, strips her of Impact Championship.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Now she
6 minutes ago. So
She wasn't coming. She was kind of like refusing. I know they said she was stuck in Mexico, but then I don't think she
Super
made.
talented, man, but she's tough. Seems to be tough to work with.
Yeah, I don't think she made any effort to actually come to any of the tapings, and they put her in that
That's-
6-way match.
yeah,
And they were like worried that she wasn't going to show.
And now
so.
Michael Elgin's not going to be in that match.
Yeah.
So he's out. Tessa's out.
Plus, remember they were calling her racist, like when she won the
Yeah.
title and stuff. So, it's not a shock. I mean, it sucks, but
Wow.
I think once everything cools down with her, back up the bring chucks. She's got to go WWE. There's so many dream matches for her there.
You would think, as long as she could like be
No-
decent, be
yeah,
a
as
decent
long as
person.
she can be normal. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
a shame.
Yeah, so much talent, and then
Yeah.
it's-
Well, they got out of that.
She
How's
would-
she going to lose the title? They got out of that.
Even if she went to AEW, she'd be an instant star.
Well, isn't Moose the
he's
interim champion?
He's
the
proclaiming himself the TNA
world
champion.
Do you think they'll just make him the world champion then?
I hope
They have
not,
the
but
match.
probably.
Or hopefully Ace, maybe. I would love to see
I
that.
hope
Maybe the
Austin
winner
wins.
of that match, and then
Faces
Moose
Moose.
will. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Eddie Edwards still has like basically a Money in the Bank equivalent. Too.
Okay. Yeah. Poor Impact.
Yeah.
Things have not been going well.
No. Yeah,
Not at all.
I'm looking for a job.
It is pretty ironic though that Joey Ryan was doing a cancel culture gimmick,
Yeah.
and now we got cancel
I
culture. So that kind of
Perfect.
it's
Basically, it's like right to censor nowadays.
But I love all the people online who are like, "No way!" So you're telling me the guy who makes everyone touch his dick
Yeah,
was
actually
was a
does that,
pervert?
yeah.
Wow!
I said to my one friend, I'm like, if I went somewhere and Joey Ryan didn't whip out his dick, I'd be a little
yeah.
offended.
In other news, water's wet.
Yeah.
Like what the
Like,
fuck?
like Ron Jeremy, was showed his dick to someone. No shit.
He just got in trouble too.
Yeah,
Apparently,
he
got
I was
arrested,
Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Yeah. So
No.
breaking news.
Poor,
there, yeah.
poor TNA. Overall Impact.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's big news. Thank you.
That's a good.
I like Tessa.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's an excellent wrestler.
Where on Twitter is this?
PW Insider.
I just went to PW Insider.
Because I'm on official
was 6
PWI right now.
But Tessa's young, isn't she? She's still in her 20s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I suck at Twitter.
I don't like.
if you
Twitter
just search,
at all.
if you just search Tessa Blanchard, it's making its rounds. So, and
I'm sure.
Yeah,
it'll be
that's-
all
PW
over
Insider
the
is Mike Johnson. They know what they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably right. They're probably right behind the Observer. Would be
Yep.
my
Yeah.
guess.
It's not like some British
That-
guy.
dude, that's
we
a-
heard Tessa
yeah.
Blanchard's getting fired.
That's exactly why. Like PWI and Dave both are like, I think Charlotte's gonna be out for like 6 to 8 weeks, and this other guy's like, I heard she's not coming back to the Rumble, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I don't know who you are. I'm
Yeah.
gonna assume they're correct and you're wrong.
Yeah, now they're saying she might get a surgery. I'm like, please, Charlotte, don't make your boobs bigger.
Listen,
You
if she's
don't
gonna
need
go
that.
get elective surgery, she better do something with that ass.
That's
Because,
what
like,
I'm
you know what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah.
The tits are good. Leave them go.
She's gonna,
Yeah.
go, she's gonna go to Katie Forbes' doctor.
Oh my God! Don't have to go that far.
And then she needs to do the thing where she comes out and says, I can be with any man in this
I would
world.
love that. I think that's empowering to women. I don't know.
Hell yeah. I love
If I was a girl, I'd do it.
I'll watch Charlotte all day long. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I want the team of Charlotte and Scarlett, and then it could be the Ryman Blondes. That's how she could win the tag titles, because she never had the tag titles, right?
No.
No.
There you go.
Also announced her. This is not as big a news. Also announced her Slammiversary. Willie Max defending the X Division title against Chris Bay.
Okay, that should be pretty. I like Willie Mack. Chris Bay, I haven't seen too much of.
And
He's good.
Yeah, so that they, apparently at this point, because of it was supposed to be Tessa Blanchard, Ace Austin, Eddie Edwards, Michael Elgin, and Trey Miguel.
Oh, geez. So who's it now?
So it might just be, and I guess I don't know why Moose isn't in there, but I guess it'll be.
I guess because he has the title, the
Yeah.
interim title or whatever.
And maybe people are looking into his.
Yeah,
case,
Moose
too.
was defending
Yeah.
the Impact title against
Oh, he has to miss.
Shamrock. I forget who
He
it
has
was.
some.
think it was.
He has some domestic issues.
Really?
Yeah.
You know who seems like a really nice kid?
Oh.
Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Put the belt on him.
And maybe.
Yeah.
He's a good position.
Guy walks his grandmother out to his car at the end of the show. Just seems like a really nice kid.
As far as I know, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
What you don't know is he mugs her.
Yeah, then he beat her up.
Yeah.
It's a stunt, Granny.
Yeah, it was somebody else's grandpa. Or grandma.
Yeah.
She's like, let me help you to the car, Grandma. It's like, wasn't
Yeah.
the last show a different lady's grandma? It's like, well, he could have two grandmas.
Yeah.
It's like, that's true. It's like, but this one's black, so I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
He's holding a crowbar behind his back. I think this is fishy.
So back to Raw.
Yeah.
The Street Profits retain the Raw Tag Team titles over the Viking Raiders. I thought it was a very fun
I
match.
heard it was a good match.
Oh my god.
It was like a video game match. Just big
Yo,
moves.
so
Montez Ford is going to be the champion someday. He is so good.
He's the one that doesn't wear shorts.
there's a spot in this match where he comes over the top and does like a corkscrew fucking over the and lands on fucking what's his name's shoulders, and he catches him in a powerbomb spot and then throws him into his teammate.
Oh wow!
How he fucking caught him and how they both find out, it fucking blew my
If
mind.
he and Bianca Belair have children,
They're gonna be
they're
fucking
gonna be Olympic
superheroes.
gold medalists. They're gonna be able to spin cars over their heads while they're doing a flip. It's
The
gonna
other
be
guy is definitely a Marty Jannetty.
This spot was.
In fact, he's worse than Marty.
Yeah, this spot was unbelievable. Like when they did it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah,
Well, if they would let Viking Warriors or whatever go, they're really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did in this match, and this match showed that there's potential here for both
Yeah.
these teams. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end, you almost think, are they going to turn here? What's going to happen? But they do the handshake. The Viking Raiders walk off, and then the Street Profits get jumped by Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to be a tag team. Where they almost did the Own and the Bulldog thing, where they patched up their differences, even though they're feuding for a little bit, and now they're going to make a run at the tag titles. Hopefully, that means now you have Zelina Vega in that corner that you get to see Bianca with the Street Profits a little bit.
They're not doing nothing.
The problem with that
Bianca.
is so they don't let Selena actually wrestle. So when she goes out there, she just is just deemed as a manager.
Well, that's
she gets her
okay.
ass
They
kicked.
did when Catalina was with Sin Cara, so maybe if they have Bianca, then
But yeah, Bianca, who was literally telling Charlotte Flair, "You don't belong here.
you don't go here.
You don't go here," and now she's gonna fight someone who never wrestles. She went from Charlotte Flair to.
It's better than her not being on TV at all, though.
Yeah.
Look, NXT call-ups don't always get treated
Yeah.
the best.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't stick her with the Street Profits. That's just me. I would.
Well, I wouldn't have either, but they already kind of
they already did, and she's
Well,
not
she's
doing anything
married
else
to
right
the
now.
one, or almost
Yeah.
married. So
Yeah,
that's
she's
why I
married.
put them together.
I think she's no longer wrestling. She's just making gear for everybody.
She makes good gear.
Yeah, she does.
She makes good golf pants.
I'll wear them. I'd wear them.
That's maybe she could be the
Right?
reason why
Reba?
they split up. Yeah.
No.
I thought she could be the Reba of WWE. Rebel, whatever. So Asuka then defeated Charlotte Flair by submission, playing back into the arm injury. She gets the submission on
she
the
gets
Asuka.
the win
lock.
over Asuka or Charlotte finally.
Yeah, just forget that Asuka beat her last November.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Asuka gets a clean win, and it's like, yeah, what's up here? But then later, you have Nia fighting Charlotte in the back, and they do an injury angle. So yeah, Charlotte's going to be out for probably like a month and a half, it looks like.
I can't see her being out for too long.
I just thought it was ironic because the last week on Raw, after it was over, to do that like show after the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's on the free network or whatever. And she gave this whole big speech about, because the interviewer was like, "Well, how do you feel about people saying that you're entitled, that you get like all these opportunities because you're a Flair?" And she's like, "Entitlement is sitting on your ass at home and not coming to work when you can work. I'm busting my ass out on Raw. I bust my ass on SmackDown. I bust my ass on NXT. I do all this press. Like I do more than anybody in this company does." She's like, "And I'm here every week."
Yeah, that's true.
And then the next week, she's like, "I'm going to go
Have
away
to-
for
I
6
have to
weeks."
go away.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell was that speech about then? What are you talking about?
The Rock came back and said he'd never leave, and then he left.
Yeah.
I love Charlotte. She's one of those people that can do no wrong.
I think a little break for her is all right.
Yeah.
I think she deserves it.
Especially because she's been on like every show for a
Yeah,
while,
and that
little,
way-
little overexposed.
Freshen her up a little bit.
Especially if she really has been a part of 67 title matches.
Yeah.
It's like shit.
Yeah, take a break.
It feels like 67.
But all right, what do we got next?
Then we had the backstage promo with, or not the backstage, the pre-tape promo with Edge in the ring.
You know what's crazy? Like we do the show, and I watched it, and then I don't remember anything that happened. And then when you start bringing it up, I'm like, oh, that's right.
This was a hell of a promo. He's talking about
Yeah.
like Father's Day, he couldn't pick up his kids, and now his best friend for 30 years was attacked, and
Ruptured his nutsack.
yeah, he said he's gonna make Orton wish the Cowboy Bob was firing blanks on the night he was conceived.
Oh boy,
Yeah, that's
Great promo.
the greatest wrestling match ever again.
The second greatest wrestling match ever. I hope that's the thing.
But I just love it because he's talking about bringing back the Rated R superstar. So, like, if he comes back and then he just says straight up heel and then Orton's straight up heel and they just start cheating the whole match, like low blow and the ref's not looking.
The
and he gets
dirtiest
their
match
weapons.
of all
Yeah,
time.
it'd be great, dude. I love it.
Should
Yeah.
be pretty good.
And Orton's just been on fire.
Well, I wonder how Edge, because he got that tricep injury. So when can
Yeah.
he wrestle again? SummerSlam, maybe. That's
I
August.
I thought they said it was an
Probably.
8-month injury.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's like 8
jeez.
months. Yeah.
What the hell do you do with him then? I guess just let him
Stew.
disappear. Yeah.
Show up once in a while, do promos where he threatens or and like just keep it.
But even like 8 months of promos, that's a hard sell.
Or maybe they know it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
you never know.
Maybe you go, hey, I could do another movie match, although I do not want another movie match.
Yeah, right.
So then we had R-Truth come out for the 24/7 title match, but he's attacked by Bobby Lashley, puts him to full Nelson, they lay him out, and then Tozawa sneaks over and gets the 1, 2, 3. So your new 24/7 champion is Akira Tozawa.
Get it, boy.
Someone was saying, like, what is the benefit of winning this title? Like,
You get to
win it,
work-
and then you have to
The
defend
winner
it.
share the purse, baby.
Yeah,
You get to work with R-Truth for a couple weeks.
like in storyline. Like, why would you want this title?
Because you get to work with R-Truth for a couple weeks on TV.
That's the storyline.
Huh?
Like storyline. Like, what's the storyline reason why you would want this title?
The winner share
Think
the
about
purse,
it.
baby.
Like you'd have to defend it all the time. Like that, you
Yeah.
get no
Whenever,
breaks. Yeah. Like, why would you do that?
The prestige?
Yeah,
The
the prestige.
24/7.
Yeah.
I just still
It
wish
makes no
it was the
sense.
hardcore title. Because even though I hate all the 24/7 shit and I hate the stupid matches and I hate the stupid gimmick, I hate all of it. But if it was the hardcore title, I'd just be like, I remember this when I was a kid. It was fun, so whatever.
Or
Like,
just-
I never
Or
liked
go
that
full
either.
DDT with it.
Yeah.
Have a box win it.
Yeah.
have
and
a-
no one can beat this box.
Have a ladder win it.
You know?
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Well, the 1000th champion was a title itself.
The title be the title.
It like fell over on itself and pinned itself.
they should just go super meta and have Vacant be the
Yeah.
champion. They're like, well,
Have a guy come out
Done
in
it again.
a gray
Yep.
morph suit.
I think Shawn Michaels' tag team partner should win it.
God.
Marty
God.
Jannetty. Yeah, God.
Marty Jannetty should
Yeah,
come.
Marty Jannetty. Actually, that would get put on Marty.
Marty Jannetty's ankle should win it because it's as big as another human.
Marty Jannetty's like, how old that title?
Yeah.
They're like, it's like 2 or 3 years old. He's like, all right.
All right.
What's 24 divided by 7?
He's like,
No,
real quick,
Marty.
guys, can you tell me how old this chick looks
Yeah,
on the internet? They're like, Marty, we're gonna let you go.
Marty,
it's
you've
been
had
a fun 2-minute conversation, but you're a weirdo.
It's funny. Well, not fun, obviously.
It's hilarious.
No, because Hana Kimura won the Iron Man Heavy Middleweight title when she was about 9 years old,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, it's cool.
And so after that, we had Natalya beat Liv Morgan in a very quick match that Liv got, I guess, upset about because they showed pictures of her getting offense that were cut out of the match on TV. And then we had
How dumb.
then we had Big Show talking about.
Well, didn't they put Lana with Nikolai with Natalia, Natty?
Yeah. Lana did the distraction, and then Natty and Lana seem to be a pair now.
That's we don't know what to do with Lana.
Maybe Natty can teach her how to wrestle.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. So and then we had Charlie talking with the Big Show backstage. He's angry because his friend Christian apparently. Big Show and Edge Christian, very great friends. We never knew this over the years, but they're very great friends. And he called out Ric Flair and Randy Orton a little bit later. So it looks like Extreme Rules are probably going to get Randy Orton and the Big Show.
No, thank you.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, at least he was a babyface again. He didn't turn for the 37th time.
It's happening.
Of course it is. And then our next match was Bayley and Sasha beating the Iconics to keep the women's tag titles. And after the match, they talk about how Sasha's getting a little jealous every time she hears about Bayley Dose straps. And so she wants a title match, and all the crowd's buzzing because Bayley's selling it like, yeah, she wants to wrestle for the SmackDown title. She wants a title match against Asuka for the Raw Women's title.
Not Io Shirai, like when they said
Because
that.
that makes total sense that a SmackDown wrestler who's only on Raw because she has the tag team title can jump in line and be the number one contender,
Yeah,
and they
hey.
just make the match.
And it's just okay. Well, they only have 4 girls.
They're like, hey, Nia, no.
Yeah.
Charlotte, go get your surgery. Baszler, not pretty enough.
Yeah, you don't like
Natty,
it.
you're with Lana now, and
Yeah.
let's get Banks in there.
And, yeah, and that Bianca.
At least the match would be really good.
Yeah, for sure. The match would be great.
Everybody but Shannon could have COVID. Like, let's bring back Sarah Logan.
Yeah. What's she doing?
She officially she said she's done with wrestling.
She's
Yeah.
taking some time off. They have a YouTube channel where they shoot guns and kill things, and
Yeah.
and that's going to be her thing for a little bit.
Shoot guns and kill things.
There's the thing of her shooting a gun, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you do you. So then Ruby Riott tried to approach Liv backstage. Here's Ruby Riott on TV. But Liv kind of blew her off. She was kind of feeling sorry for herself a little bit. MVP was talking backstage with Apollo. We're going to get a rematch here of Apollo and Shelton Benjamin. After Apollo was in the VIP lounge, it's still kind of MVP's courting Apollo.
Yeah.
And then he did beat Shelton in a non-title match.
What if Ruby went up to Liv and said, Remember when there was 3 of us? And that was it. That's the whole thing.
And they just hear a gunshot in the background.
They have no plan for Ruby.
No.
They have no plan for Liv. So like they had Ruby come back, turn on Liv, had them feud for a little bit, which the feud sucked.
Had Ruby leave when she was challenging for the world title, come back and be a jobber.
Well, she had double
Soldier
surgery or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
now
when she left as a champion contender.
Well, yeah, but I mean.
And now they're just going to team them back up like
yeah.
nothing
And
happened.
Liv was a lesbian, and then she wasn't. And then, I don't know. What a terrible.
And then she was just
Career
like
path.
an Instagram millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what to do with my
Instagram
life, but I'm like 24, and she
Yeah.
was
Dark
no
and
one gives a
evil,
shit.
and
It's
now
like that
she's-
commercial. You ever see that commercial with that chick where she's like, I smoked one of those pens for like 2 months and it gave me anxiety, and I'm like, no one cares. Shut the hell up. What are you talking about? You're 16 years old, but you should have anxiety anyways. I'm riddled with anxiety. It's killing me.
It kind of reminded me of I'm Michelle McCool and I'm loving
Yeah,
life.
that's what I thought of. I was like,
It was
ugh.
so bad.
Ugh.
Every time that commercial gets on, dude, I feel my blood pressure go up, and I like get filled with rage, and I'm like, oh god, this is not healthy for me to watch this.
So their main event segment was Rey Mysterio and Dominic coming out. I thought this was really good. I thought they did a good job with this. Seth I think he's really found a character that kind of is working for him.
I like how
right
he
now.
crosses his eyes when he's going to do something crazy.
And yeah, they're saying like this is a family and this family wants to fight. So then they're in the ring and Seth comes out with Murphy and Austin Theory. And it looks like it's going to be 3-on-1 or 3-on-2, but here comes Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black, and they kind of get the numbers on Seth and his family here, and we're going to get an eye for an eye. Mysterio and Seth try to take out Seth's eye, or Mysterio and Dominic try to take out Seth's eye, but then Aleister Black and Humberto stop them, and they try to stop him from doing it, which provides the opening for Seth and his guys to get the advantage here, and they're going to take Dominic's eye, but then finally Aleister Black and Murphy, or Aleister Black and Carrillo.
Yeah.
I always get Buddy Murphy and Carrillo confused. They break it up, and yeah, I thought this was a very good segment. And I don't know what it's building to, like what specific match, but
I race Seth at
4
SummerSlam.
versus 4, yeah.
For Extreme Rules, probably
they need a fourth for the other team, I
bullshit.
guess.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think it will just straight up lead to
Bobby Roode, that's their new acquisition.
It will just lead to a big Seth Ray match, probably just one.
And then Dominic has to turn and be like, Dad, I remember when you put my custody on the line. And
Dude,
I've hated
listen.
you ever since then. That's long-term booking.
Exactly. That's the reason it won't happen, because we just
Yeah.
can't book even month to month
Yeah.
now, unless like years in
Vince
advance.
That would be great.
Vince probably don't even remember that at
Yeah.
all.
Dad, do you remember when I said we were family?
Yeah.
I lied!
They're
My
like,
dad's Eddie Guerrero.
they're like, Vince, remember? This is that kid. Remember when he was younger and we put custody of him? And Vince is like,
Eddie?
what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know Ray already had kids.
Yeah. Hey, where's Eddie at? Let's bring him back.
The great story about Dominic, because he's obviously a big dude. He was born around the same time Kevin Nash's son was born.
Really?
And Dominic was bigger than Kevin Nash's son.
Wow. I thought something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Raw.
that was
I
wrong.
thought Raw was solid. I thought the Street Profits match was really good. The Oscar Charlotte match was really good. You had some great promos with like Edge, and the main event segment was pretty solid. I don't like that they're doing Ziggler and McIntyre with no build. Like, oh, they used to be a tag team.
Yeah.
Like they have so many
Again,
guys.
it doesn't make sense that
Might as well
Ziggler
bring back, what's his name?
Ziggler just gets a title shot just because he wants
Kids.
one.
I need kids, or I have kids.
Oh, Heath.
Yeah, Heath. That we're tag team.
I just that's Ziggler's MO. He just comes to be a fall guy.
Shows up and gets a title shot out of nowhere.
He'll
Yeah.
come out and he'll put it. Realistically, the match will be fantastic.
Yeah, the match will be great.
It'll be great to watch, and
I just,
Ziggler will get squashed.
I'm so done with his character, man. I don't care what he does. It's so beat.
Talent wise, man, he goes anywhere
beat
else
down.
in the world, he'd be a world beater.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, the new Wednesday night champion
Yeah.
NXT.
And not particularly close either. NXT, I believe the exact number was 786,000 viewers, and AEW 633,000. AEW's won most weeks, but NXT had a strong showing here. But both shows are really kind of bridge shows because
Yeah.
the next 2 weeks are going to be big, especially for AEW. It's going to be their Fighter Fest, and you're going to have two shows with basically what was almost going to be a pay-per-view quality
Yeah.
lineup, or at least I think Fighter Fest was supposed to be more of like a Clash of the Champions level
Yeah.
show, but now it's just going to be spread out over 2 weeks since they're not doing the CEO game convention. And the counter, NXT is now doing the Great American Bash for 2 weeks, which obviously the
Boy,
big
that's
thing there
kicking dirt in someone's face.
Yeah.
is that's a dusty thing.
We're not in competition with AEW. We don't watch their product. We don't care.
Yeah.
But watch 2
We
weeks
just
of the Great
happened-
American
we just
Bash.
happened to stumble upon this.
And if they're gonna do stuff like that, one thing
Dusty Rhodes created this.
Like I said in the chat, it would be
Live girls.
it would be hilarious if they just had Hulk Hogan come down because he's not on AEW. He kicks the Dusty statue over, breaks it, starts playing the guitar, and they just chime in like 80,000 fans just screaming like they did at fucking the last pay-per-view. That'd be
Hogan was
great.
better than Dusty.
Yep.
Eat that, Cody.
And then Flair drops an elbow on it.
Yeah.
let's keep Hogan and Flair away from the performance center.
And then Flair cries.
Huh?
And then Flair cries.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to kind of get behind here is that if they're going to use old Dusty pay-per-view names, I saw kind of a movement for this. October 31st is a Saturday this year.
There you go, Halloween Havoc.
NXT
baby.
Takeover Halloween Havoc, make it happen.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
There it is.
That'd be awesome.
There it is.
And do the set like you did for In Your House.
Yeah, with the little tombstones with people's name. Like put Bo Dallas on one of them. That'd be awesome.
If
The
they
old
did it in a
champions.
house, like,
Goldust.
that opens the door for everything.
Put Goldust on one. Put Cody
Stardust.
Rhodes on the other
Okay.
because they own Cody Rhodes. They could put Cody Rhodes
They
on a
could.
gravestone. Really take shots. Have one of the gravestones be polka dots.
Yikes.
Dash Wilder,
Yikes.
Yeah.
Dash
You've gone
Wilder.
too far. You've gone too
Luke
far.
Harper, yeah, just all the people that left.
Yeah. What was Pac's name? I forget now.
Adrian
Yeah,
Neville.
Neville.
Neville. Yeah. Yeah. They'll just put all their graves on.
Yeah. Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. Yeah.
So where are you going to go first here, AEW or NXT?
Let's go NXT.
NXT.
So I didn't see it, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, I started watching it, and then I was like, you know what, I can't watch back-to-back shows. And then the next day, I got caught up doing stuff, so I didn't get the chance to tune in.
So we started with the attack that happened an hour before showtime, where Cameron Grimes attacked Damian Priest as he was getting out of his car. So apparently Damian Priest is a babyface now.
Given one of the worst promos ever, you might want to check on him. He is squished. I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Who talks like that?
It reminds me of Efforts for Family, the two little redneck kids. Oh, this yellow pillow, my little pink pillow itches.
It was terrible. I like him as a wrestler. Grimes is great, but like this redneck promo shit he's doing, just oh god, it's hard to get through.
So basically, Cameron Grimes comes out and says, well, I win by forfeit, count him out. And Damian Priest was evidently a babyface now, limps his way out, and he's going to fight.
Well, Finn's a heel, so let's re-wrestle that takeover.
Finn's a
house.
babyface.
It was a very simple formula where obviously Priest is the bigger guy, so Grimes is the sleazy heel. So he needed to cheat to get the advantage. He does it before the match. So we just see a different version of Damian Priest. One is a babyface, and two, he's fighting from behind. He's on the cell, and it wasn't a long match. It did what it needed to do, and it's gonna lead into a program between the two of them, which I'm fine with. I'm a big fan of Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, and Grimes gets the win here, as Matt was saying. With this show, I was like, the wrestling was excellent, as NXT wrestling always is, but some of the storyline stuff and some of the sports entertainment stuff, I could have done with that.
Yep.
And case in point, the biggest case in point,
I'm still not sold on this two belt person. I think this
No,
is,
I hope it ends in no contest with Killer Kross just attacking them both because they broke his.
Yeah, I think that's how
shit.
we'll go.
I would lay money on that.
But if somebody wins,
Especially
both,
now
then
it's
that's
more
stupid.
Raw and SmackDown booking, then that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Raw and SmackDown type booking, the next thing was Robert Stone.
I don't know. I never liked him.
Still trying to badger Rhea Ripley into joining the Robert Stone brand.
She's gonna do it.
And then she's gonna be dancing Rhea Ripley or something.
Is she gonna grow her hair back long?
We had on the more fun side, we had another Timothy Thatcher vignette where he's still torturing his
That
students.
was funny. That was cool. I
They're
love
good.
this show
Yeah.
with Thatcher. It's great.
And then we had Santos Escobar beating Jake Atlas in a non-title match. And very good match. I like Jake Atlas a lot. It just reminds me so much his look and the way he wrestles with Ricky Steamboat.
Okay, yeah.
Not quite as obviously Ricky Steamboat's an all-time great. He's not there
Yeah.
yet, but
Yeah.
uh,
He's on his way.
I can't believe that's the name they came up with, and we're sitting down at the table. Santos Escobar.
I think you meant Jake Atlas. Like that's been his name for a
Jake,
while.
Jake Atlas, that's a good name.
They're like, he's Mexican, right?
Yeah. What's like a real Mexican?
He's
sounding
gonna be
name?
a boss of a gang.
Yeah, and then
but
Vince was like, "What about Taco?"
his name is
Burrito, taco burrito. What are those things you ordered me? Chalupas?
Yeah.
It's like the original Punch-Out where the Italian boxer is pizza pasta.
Yeah, pizza.
Bubble.
Vodka Drunkinski.
And just Kid Quick.
Yeah.
He's quick and he's a kid. Kid Quick.
At least we're not we're not naming wrestlers like rappers anymore. Everyone's little or young.
The one thing, my worst one was it was just like, we're going to take an athlete's name and then we're just going to change a letter, like Kenny Dykstra and Bam Neely.
Kenny Dykstra. I was like, I don't. Like, it was dated then.
The funniest thing about Lenny Dykstra is he was trying to sue somebody for slander or something like that, and the judge literally said that his reputation is so bad that it is legally impossible to slander him.
Well, that's like Street Fighter, right? Street Fighter, the boxer in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
They were going to name him M.
Balrog,
Bison.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson's legal form was
'cause
like, do or sue. So then they just made Bison. They just changed the name.
That's why they switched that in America.
Yeah,
He's Mike Bison.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now.
I would have left it like, sue us.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And it looks like
And then
we
you watch Mike Tyson train, you're like, we'll change the name.
Yeah.
We'll change the name.
it looks like we might not be getting the feud we were hoping for last week, because it looks like Indashare is going to be feuding with Birch and Lorcan, which maybe means Brizongo gets the title, the program still. Who knows?
Maybe.
I guess.
I don't see him winning.
NXT Tag Division is not good right now.
No, it's not.
Well, you have a great tag team and they're in comedy skits. That's the problem. And then you had Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez beating Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. And they kind of teased on commentary a little bit that maybe Dakota might be in line for a run at EO, because Dakota got the win here.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love how NXT is building up like their mid card women's division.
Yeah.
Obviously, it looks like Dakota Kai's next line, and I absolutely love the team of Candice and Casey. You can tell they have really great symmetry. I think they actually like live together and they're legit like real life best friends.
Yeah, they do
And
a
you
lot
can
of like videos and stuff together on like different social media platforms.
They have some like really cool double teams, and their timing and ring positioning together was really good.
I
I
love
was
the
like,
way
wow,
I love the way
yeah,
she
and, like,
looks with her long hair.
in like 6 to 12 months with like more seasoning, these two are going to be great, and I would love to see the two of these against like a Bailey and a Sasha or Asuka and Kari. Like, I was really impressed by the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much you can do with Casey because she's so small. If you beat on her, she's going to get a lot of sympathy. But then she can do these like crazy athletic things that maybe two other people, man or woman, in WWE
What
can
did
do.
they set up a women's match for next week? 4-way?
Yeah, there's going to be a
have to-
fatal
yeah.
4-way next week to determine a number one contender. And Kai
Yeah,
is probably going to be in it.
Yeah.
Kai's probably going to win it.
Yeah, you would think.
Why do you beat up Bailey and Sasha then? What's happening? It's like, we forgot about that. Remember,
It just was more like
the fan doesn't
EO,
remember what happened.
EO,
week to week.
like,
chasing them
is
off,
the
I
big
guess.
dog
yeah.
in the yard, and it's like, listen, you're not going to come here and
Yeah.
just,
And then we had, speaking of good wrestling, we had Karrion Kross beat Bronson Reed, just two guys beating on each other for a little bit.
Like a 4 or 5 minute match with two guys just shot out of a cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had to go back and watch this one.
They did the thing that Sammy and Kevin Owens did, where they're just trying to redo the Fry Takayama thing, we're just wailing on each other.
Oh,
and,
cool.
yeah,
Hockey tie up and just swing for the fences.
pretty much.
Kevin and Sammy do that
Suplexes,
so good.
yeah. Fun match. Yeah, that's definitely worth. And it's not a long match either. It's a quick watch. Definitely, I would check into that one. And then backstage, Cole was asked, "What challenger would you like to face in Triple Threat?" And he's whoever. I'm the champ. I can beat them all. And then another vignette for Mercedes Martinez.
Good.
And maybe she'll be in the 4-way. Maybe she'll win the 4-way. Who knows?
Yeah, I see that.
Or did they name the 4 people? I didn't
I
catch
think
it.
Tegan Knox is one of them.
I think
Dakota.
Mercedes would be a great champion,
Oh,
and I think
look
it'd be
that up.
too soon to have EO drop it.
Yeah.
Oh
Depending-
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't think Io's going to drop it anytime soon.
No.
Unless she's not re-signing or she is leaving, you know.
Yeah. And then Aaliyah lost to Rhea Ripley. They and Rhea, the one thing I didn't like here was the presentation a little bit. She has some blue in her gear now. She was smiling a lot.
Yep.
It kind of reminded me of when Diesel became the smiling, shake hands, kissing babies babyface when he won the title.
It just sucks to have like nothing. She went from being the champion
To
to
this
huge WrestleMania
absolute
match,
force.
yeah, to like now she's just another person on the show.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that sucks.
It's Tegan.
Well, here's listen. I'm sorry, I'll cut you off.
got
I mean,
the
I know there
matches.
is points where you have to book somebody ahead, and somebody has to kind of take that step back.
Yeah.
But it does suck when you completely diminish them as a character a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they put him in a comedy feud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know who'd be great for Rhea to work with right now? Raquel Gonzalez. Two big people,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the size
yeah.
works.
Yep. I agree.
It's Tegan versus Candice versus Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai for a
there
title
you
shot at Io Shirai. Just a
Yeah, I would
future
say-
title shot, and then
I would say Dakota almost definitely wins. that.
Rhea Ripley versus Robert Stone.
Well, we'll
And
get there.
Aaliyah.
We'll get there.
Oh God.
We'll get there, Andy.
and then Roddy.
So the next match, then we had a little back to the Undisputed Era and their There's therapy sessions with Roddy. One of my favorite line here, I have to pull it up again because I closed the page that had it. Because Roddy, I guess, he ran away last week, and he's been kind of he can't get over being locked in the car by Dexter Lumis, and it's playing hell with him, and I guess they finally got him back here because nobody had seen him, and and he's back on the couch, and he still has his eyes closed, and eventually here you do get that he figures out that the psychiatrist is Kyle, but one thing he says before that is Roger Strong says, "For the last week I've isolated myself." He's the one guy in WWE that did.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens and Roman.
Yeah, I guess
they're the
Roman.
three.
Ugh. Yeah, I was listening to the podcast, the Going on Raw podcast. I like them, and they were like, "Oh, this Undisputed segment is so good." I was like, "What the fuck? What were you watching?" And not this one, but last week. So I was like, well, "I guess that's great if you're going to enjoy it."
I mean, compared to other stuff that's going on in wrestling, I don't think it's the worst. I'm being honest.
It's not the worst. But
But you have your kind of cornerstones, Rhea and the Undisputed. And I understand you got to shuffle the deck a little bit and get some new people involved in the mix.
But like you said, comedy's not the way to go.
Yeah.
bad comedy. Now if it was good comedy,
Use them to bring them up. Have them wrestle Breezango.
yeah. Now if it was Rhea versus Britt Baker, then
Yeah. Oh, that's some good comedy.
yeah.
And then they have a match with Dexter and Roddy, and Roddy just runs away. Yeah.
But they're also doing Dexter and Dream maybe
Might be
being
a
a
tag
tag team. Yeah.
Dexter wins by count out because Roddy's like, nope, I'm leaving. No, I don't want to wrestle him. And then Loomis went after Bobby Fish, but Bobby Fish escaped. So
That's like when remember when Xavier was scared of Bray Wyatt?
yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
There was never any payoff to that.
no, there wasn't.
No.
He just stopped being scared.
Yeah.
well, and what I thought they did really well with was when Dakota was a babyface and she was afraid of Shayna because Shayna hurt her.
Yeah.
And then she faced her fear. She still lost, but you told a story. You had an arc. They're just doing this for just dumb comedy.
Yep.
And then so next, I believe it's next week. Next week they're going to have Roddy and Dexter Lumis in a strap match, so he can't run away. And it's going to be the Great American Bash. They announced that, and then our main event,
The greatest American Bash.
Greatest of all time American Bash.
The bashiest bash of all the bashes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Some would say.
Yeah.
Some would say the bashiest bash.
I did a podcast with the PA Apologiver guys, and then Alex from Wicked Turtle and High Tension joined, and they said we listened to the last episode. And you guys are saying you're the greatest wrestling podcast. I said we never said that. Some would say we are the greatest wrestling.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, we didn't. We
I've
never.
heard tell.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't make that promo. You know.
No,
we're just saying what we heard, you know, and the internet never lies. So we learned that, you know.
And that's how I learned where the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
AJ told me. I was like, oh, well,
But
shit.
none of the other planets are though. Just Earth.
Just Earth.
Yeah.
and the sun is actually cold. I remember that from a Paul London and Brian Kendrick shoot interview. And 9/11 was a hologram.
Like Tupac.
Well, Tupac actually did come back as a hologram, so no, not like Tupac.
All right, go ahead.
So then the main event here, very long match, very good match. It might have been like the 5-star classic that some may have been expecting, but I thought it was excellent. Keith Lee retains the North American title over Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano, and will face Adam Cole on the 8th in a title versus
I'm
title
gonna have
match.
to see this one.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, excellent match. And, you know, 3-ways are hard to do, and even the final 4 or 5 minutes was like, oh, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here. And they kind of buttonhooked you with what was going to happen. I think the race to the finish was really good.
Yeah. It's one of those matches where any 3 of those guys could win and you'd be okay with it.
Yeah, oh, totally,
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
And, just the wrestling altogether. I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs about the storytelling. The wrestling on this show was really good. Really good top to bottom.
Yeah, that's one thing they're not struggling with NXT is putting on good wrestling shows.
They never have. They never have.
Right now they're just kind of struggling story-wise.
Well, it's not that they're struggling. It's just that
It's not landing.
it's landing for what they were trying to do. It's just that they're trying to make NXT more like Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anybody wants.
No, make it different.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3
Make it
shows. If
different.
they're all the same, then
Now,
cares?
once again, I didn't watch NXT, but I did watch this show, AEW, and overall, I had a good time.
I thought it was a good show.
Before
Not a
you
great
guys
show.
get into it, I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to tap out. I
Okay.
appreciate you guys having me on. You guys have a go and be safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right,
See you
see you, brother.
Bye.
So yeah, AEW Dynamite. Yeah, and when very good show too, I thought, and it usually is. Wednesday is the fun wrestling night. It's hard to go wrong. There might be little things here you don't like, but you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And so this is the big go home for Fyter Fest. They had to do some changes, but we opened with a lumberjack match. Wardlow defeats Luchasaurus, and they did a lot of dives. They did a lot of things where the lumberjacks got involved.
Yeah.
One thing I
For
I
no
thought,
reason, kind of.
One thing I thought,
Brandon Cutler get involved.
Kip Sabian caught everything.
Yeah,
He-
and Dr. Luther caught nothing.
Kip Sabian was like Ricky Henderson. He was like Jerry Rice. If it was getting near him, he was catching it. Like he's running under Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
He was.
There's
was
a guy
awesome.
that's so happy to be there and just like, hey, use me.
Who?
Kip Sabian, yeah.
I'm a fan of his.
But then there's Dr. Luther that should just thank Jericho every single day
Yeah.
that he's there.
And then,
he's terrible.
And then obviously some more people in the lumberjacks get involved. MJF jumps on the apron and Jungle Boy does a nice little toe hater
well,
with him.
Luchasaurus, the shooting star off the
Off the
Yeah.
stage.
that was nice.
And that was where I think Sabian just like right there,
Yeah.
like I got it.
Yeah, bring it in.
And then with the referee distracted over MJF and Jungle Boy, that's when Wardlow hits the low blow and gets the pin on Luchasaurus after the F10.
Yeah, the F10.
Yeah. And
'Cause
then
it's 5 times better.
Jesus
Two times
Christ.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So yeah, then we have a Fyter Fest match now. Off of that, you're gonna have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against MJF and Wardlow.
Did you see that guy?
Simple booking. There you
looked
go.
like a bigger Jungle Boy, and his hair was down. He had like blue tights on,
Yeah.
and then Jungle Boy had his hair in a ponytail. I was like, this is a little confusing here.
Yep.
Another guy, if you have a keen eye, that was in the crowd was Adrian Cesar Bononi.
Yeah, which I'd never seen him.
He had a few matches in NXT, never like a takeover.
The guy in all white.
I had like a white shirt on, I think,
Yeah.
bald head.
He's on the heel side.
Yeah, he was near Kip Sabian. That he was an NXT guy for a while, and I guess he was just in the crowd. He'll probably, I'm gonna guess he had a match on Dark.
And the best friends were actually dressed like lumberjacks. So
Yes.
Yeah. Or
I like years ago when they used to wear the lumberjack like of their gear.
I'd like to think that was Chuck's tribute to Grizzly Redwood.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The Grizzly Red
Dude,
was
best friends
And then
have won me over.
Trent should have been
They've
dressed
been
as
killing
just
it.
regular old Mitch Franklin. That would have been great.
They have won me over. Best friends is fantastic. I don't know. I like
they're
them all.
great.
They're fantastic.
I love Chucky T.
Yeah,
Kentucky gentleman. Big Sixers fan.
might be one of the best things to come out of Philly in a while.
He's from Kentucky.
I mean, but
Yeah.
he claims Philly.
Yeah, he lives there now.
Yeah, he reps Philly.
And then they did the Taz breakdown things they've been doing where he breaks down Brian Cage's moves and put over like this is how he's going to beat
Yeah.
Jon Moxley. And then Shivani was getting notes passed from Britt Baker, who was basically in this like Pope Mobile type thing.
Yeah.
She has plexiglass around her like the coal mine.
Yeah,
Or the Pope Mobile.
But I still like the note messaging system.
Yeah.
I want that.
she's killing it.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
She has just been amazing for most of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So with her there, she wanted a clinical diagnosis on why Luchasaurus has a green tongue.
Yeah.
Maybe my thing, long lost son of Georgia Animal Steel.
No, yeah, there you go.
They did hint that during the commentary.
Yeah. Well, their commentary's good, so
Yeah.
I would.
They said if he starts eating turnbuckles, we'll find out.
And then we had Hikaru Shida get a very quick match against Red Velvet.
I believe it was a knee, and then Falcon Arrow. That was it.
That
I was
was
like,
it.
Is this Bizarro World Brandy? I thought the girl who she
She
wrestled.
kind of looked like
Yeah.
it's hot. Red Velvet. And I'm like, what a name.
Yeah,
Looked
she-
at some cake and was like, okay, there we go.
What's your name? Cheese it.
and then Hikaru went out and punched Kip Sabian right in the face. Like, poor Kip Sabian.
Kip is the MVP of the show so far.
Yeah.
And then I kind of skipped over this because I was behind here. I got a late start to
You didn't miss
Dynamite.
anything. It was horrible.
There was a press conference, a very long one. I kind of because I watch on YouTube TV and you can kind of skip ahead and see like a YouTube video,
Probably
see a
about 5
thumbnail.
minutes.
It was horrible.
No, I listened to post wrestling. They loved it,
It's terrible.
and I think that the
I would
Now
take
I kinda-
I would take the Undisputed Era doing therapy sessions over this.
I would rather watch this because this is boring, but it wasn't offensively bad.
Now I want to go back because apparently they used fake names like names from old pro
Yeah,
wrestling
they
illustrated people.
Liz Hunter.
Liz Hunter,
and I forget their guy's name, but and then
Eddie
Cody
Elner, maybe?
Cody dropped
Stu Sachs?
some Jim Cornette things. He's like, I don't like cosplay wrestling. I don't like this wrestling. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. They're using it
Yeah.
against, you know.
But I'm just having a little fun.
Yeah, I think that the press conference is kind of out of date. For
Yeah.
wrestling nowadays. In the '80s, like people know better, but now we know better.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. But Jack Swagger's wife is really hot.
Cheers.
That's what I got out of this press conference.
And she threw water at Cody.
yeah.
God, oh boy.
And Cody's like, this title isn't done yet. It's well known. I'm like, what? When is this
I
title going
hated
to be
that he had
done?
reach
It's been like
across
2
the
months
table
now.
And hold Brandy's hand at one point. Like, it's okay, baby.
Who, Jack Swagger?
No, fucking Cody.
Oh.
After the wife threw.
Oh.
He had to hold her hand. I'm okay. It's only water. Should have. If it was
I'll take
poison and his fucking.
I
face,
thought it was gonna be booze, and he'd be like, "Oh, it burns." I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that makes a little sense.
it's fucking vodka, man.
I got that from Moxley. Renee drank out of that glass. Welcome to the wonderful world of COVID.
All right, next.
Next, we had a little an extended video package for Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. I think this is going to be a fun team.
They're shot very well.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like an action movie where
Yeah.
Joey's in the gas station. These people are kind of giving Sonny crap, and Sonny just starts throwing down, and
Yeah.
Joey comes out.
Joey Janela won me over. I'm a Joey Janela fan, and if you look at his fucking pro wrestling tees, he has awesome shirts.
Well, that's like more so the AEW people. All the shirts are like that design style.
Yeah, his shirts are. Sonny Kiss was actually wearing his shirt,
Yeah.
which was I was like, that's a cool ass shirt. That may be something on the list eventually in the future. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of this team. Then the match happened.
Yeah, Mr. Brody Lee and Colt Cabana defeat Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
I thought it was a fun match.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was a
I
good
like
match.
them as a team.
Yeah.
They need a name though. They can't just be Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
Yeah.
They need some kind of name. I know Jim Ross called them Jersey Boys. I'm like, well, that's a stupid name.
Call him.
I don't know.
Call him
but
Bad Kiss.
Something like something.
But so we were watching, and Heidi comes in the room, and she's like, "Oh, what's this match?" And I was like, "Oh," and she goes, "Man, that guy has a great butt." I was like, "Yeah, if you if you took a still shot and you didn't know, if you didn't know,
Yeah.
you would be like, wow, that." Whoever's butt that is fantastic, and then you'd be like, then you could be like one of those. No, it's a boy.
It stopped Billy Gunn in that match. Remember that battle royal? He
Yeah.
shaking his ass like, yeah.
And even Orange Cassidy tipped his glasses down. But Heidi was like, wow, Sonny has amazing legs and a great butt.
Yeah.
And it was great to see him on Dynamite, too, because he's so distinct and he has a lot of cool
It was his
athletic stuff
first
he does.
match on
He's-
Dynamite.
he's not a-
aside from battle royal.
There was a few spots where his flip kick where he I thought he legit maybe the feet came down a little hard on Colt and stuff, but I liked it. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good way to still book how you were kind of saying, I don't like when they overbook people to be monsters all the time, so you have to kind of go out there and kind of say that it is okay to get offense against them. So I thought it was a good way for Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee to kind of look human, I guess, to a point, but they still got the win.
Yeah, and the storyline there is Brody hits the move. Brody hits Janela with the lariat, but he lets Colt get the pin.
Yeah.
And Colt might be gravitating toward the Dark Order.
Yep. And then I won't say anything yet because we'll get there.
And then we had a video package from AW Dark where Shawn Spears laid out Pineapple Pete. I wonder if they kept Spears off the show out of caution because of all the people in WWE tested positive. His wife works there, so I was wondering if that's why he wasn't on the show part.
Maybe. Unless he just wasn't at these tapings.
Yeah, that too.
But
And
they showed the medals in the glove, and that's why it's the power of the punch. I'm like, that's kind of lame.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I really hope you're not in the AEW 4 Horsemen. Because you're not that good a wrestler.
And then we had FTR defeating SCU. I love this match.
Fantastic match.
This was like the Brainbusters and the Rockers.
And then he did, which one? The bald one? The former Scott Dawson does the 4 Horsemen thing when we went for the pit. He's like, whoop! It goes, like, oh, they're going to do it. Them and Cody. That's how Cody does you.
And then we're set up for after the match.
Harwood cuts a promo, and
it was good.
They said they weren't welcome when they were there. Yeah, they said they're good guys and they're bad guys, and they're the baddest guys.
Yeah.
And the Butcher and the Blade interrupt, and they're in the truck. They're currently driving to the ring, and so basically the Lucha Bros attack as well. So we have an 8-man tag for Fyter Fest.
Yeah, the Lucha Bros come in the ring, but what's his name's not done the promo yet, and then Revival turns around. It's like, oh, someone's cue's off here.
Yeah,
it just felt off.
Yeah, it did.
I did like when they went for a superplex on Christopher Daniels. They reversed it. That looked awesome.
Yeah.
This match was very, very good.
Yeah.
The promo. Was
This
not so good afterwards.
four-way tag match is going to be exciting.
8-man tag.
Should be
8-man
good.
tag. Yeah,
Butcher
sorry.
and Blade and Lucha Brothers. Would they ever talk to each other in real life?
No.
Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
we're hanging out now.
I would have just liked to see Lucha Bros versus FTR.
Yeah,
too.
I bet eventually will, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they want to burn out all the big matches. That's why they're kind of doing a slow. Like this wasn't even supposed to be FTR and SCU. It was supposed to be FTR and the Natural Nightmares.
Yeah.
But QT stayed in Atlanta because of COVID exposure.
Probably got the better match. I mean,
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, Goldust is still good, but
Especially against those two. That would
Yeah.
be old
Yeah.
school.
Yep. All right.
And then they had a little bit of a segment there, building up best friends against Kenny and
It was kind of funny.
Hangman.
that
Hangman
with
was
the little
great.
shirt,
in
Yeah.
that. He's like the great guys. I'm still gonna kick their ass.
Yeah. There you are.
And then we had a little bit of a hype with Moxley for the Brian Cage match that hopefully is going to happen. Well, I guess we heard that Moxley is
Yep.
negative for COVID, so again, sucks that he's got to probably stay away from his wife for a while now, but
Yep.
at least he's healthy. And then Taz is on commentary. I think because the original plan was that Moxley was going to wrestle and Taz was going to be on commentary.
So they just switched it and had Brian Cage did a job match against
Yeah,
some guy. But
John
that guy was
Cruz.
bumping like crazy for him though.
John Cruz was the guy.
And then does Taz do the promo after or
Yeah.
right before this?
Yeah, he's like, "Where are you?" He said Moxley had a bullshit
Yeah.
excuse for not
That
being
was
there.
pretty cool.
That
Taz
was their
hates
shit.
COVID.
for the- Yeah, he's one of the COVID troopers. He's at the mask rallies. I'm not wearing no mask, brother.
Yeah. I'm wearing no fucking mask. I like Angry Taz. Angry Taz is the best Taz.
It's a simple cold.
Yeah.
How many of these people have pre-existing conditions,
Yeah.
or they're old?
And Brian Cage can't really talk, so it's good to put Taz
Yep.
with him. That makes sense. That's what you should do in WWE, but they don't. Hey, you can't talk? Well, we're going to make you talk for 15 minutes. Anyway, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Brian Cage beat the hell out of the job. I like when he powerbombed them out from outside the ring into the ring.
Yeah.
And then, so they did a little thing more backstage where Cabana says winning feels good. And then Brody Lee just says, "Okay, you're teaming with me again against SCU
Yeah.
at Fyter Fest."
But I believe it's Daniels and...
Well, they actually announced later it's going to be a 6-man. It's
Okay,
going to
it's
be
all of them.
all three
Yeah.
against Brody, Colton, Stu Grayson.
Yeah.
And then, so night one's matches are Jurassic Express against MJF and Wardlow, Private Party against Santana and Ortiz, Sheeta against Penelope Ford, Cody and Hager, and Omega and Best Friends. That's going to be next week's
Yeah,
show.
it'll be a good show.
Cool.
And then, I lost my place here. Night 2 is going to be Nyla Rose in action. It says she's going to have a major announcement, too. Don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Lance Archer against Joey Janela. SCU against Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, and Stu Grayson. Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. Young Bucks and FTR against Lucha Bros, Butcher and the Blade. And then, hopefully, John Moxley
Yeah,
against
we
Brian
forgot
Cage.
after that tag match with Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, Lance Archer appears.
Yeah.
He just beats him up.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, so that'll be a match at night 2 of Fyter Fest. Janela against Archer. Which is a good thing, because Janela sells.
Once again,
Yeah.
awesome shirt. Lance Archer.
Oh, okay.
Lance Archer shirt looks cool.
Yeah, the same dudes.
The skull. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with Dana, is that Matt's wife or Nick's wife?
Dana is Matt's wife.
Yeah, she does a lot with the merchandising too.
Yeah.
And because she did a lot with the Bucks merchandising.
I think
and
she's like the behind the scene merch manager or something
Yeah.
like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
director of merchandising or something like that. Yeah. So then Britt Baker had another note for Tony. That Big Swole was the biggest piece of trash on the roster.
And she
And
was
she was stuck in there for 9 hours.
Poor girl.
Yeah. So then Big Swole appears and she dumps garbage into Britt's little Pope mobile.
cleanest garbage
and into
ever.
her drink. Into her
Yeah.
drink too.
Yeah.
Poor Britt.
And then Reba tried to get her to get off the Popemobile with the leaf
Leaf
blower.
blower, yeah.
Reba is great.
They're all great.
Yeah.
It's
And then
just
she blamed Shivani the
Yeah.
rest of the show. That
Tony, you're in her timeout.
it's my favorite Chris Jericho ever. It's
Yeah.
the cruiserweight champion, conspiracy victim Jericho, but it's Britt Baker
it's corny comedy, but
Tony
it's
is
landing.
Ralphus, and it's so good.
That's good comedy, whereas like a lot of times WWE is bad comedy.
Yeah.
I think R-Truth's good at comedy.
Yeah, I like our
Yeah.
truth, but like Undisputed Era comedy not good.
Yeah, R-Truth's timing is
And Street Profits, Viking
No.
Raiders not good.
And they announced this last week, and we didn't bring it up. They're doing, apparently, on the network, they're going to have the R-Truth game show.
No, that should be good.
Yeah, which they originally did a pilot for, I guess, in like 2017, 2018. It was when like they did the pilot where Xavier Woods go around the arcades, and they did something with like Gallows and Anderson. But yeah, they're going to be doing this now on the network.
It would be funny if they did something like him, like with what Sacha Baron Cohen does, where he interviews people and asks them wrong questions because he thinks they're the wrong people, but they don't smarten up the people.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, R-Truth
The
is
one
so-
he
Yeah.
did right recently, where he dresses up as, and he does all like the political questions.
Oh, This Is America or
Holy
whatever it was.
shit, dude!
That's
He had some of these politicians agreeing to the most egregious stuff ever. He's like, what we do is we give kindergartners guns, so when they come into the school, the kindergartens can stop them. And they're like, it's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
That's a better idea than a place around here that just want to keep a bucket of rocks in every
yeah,
question.
remember that? Oh God.
I was going to kill all these kids, but they had rocks.
Yeah.
It stopped me.
And I was like, oh,
I was deterred.
There's nothing I can do.
There's nothing. Yeah, I didn't have enough bullets. They had a whole bucket of
Yeah.
rocks.
So many
More
rocks.
than bullets. I don't.
These kids could throw. All right, next
That
segment.
kid probably throw an arm on him, man. One of my favorite.
It's a go play kid warming up his arm.
I'm doing this with a rock. Like, get you.
Just like you're in the middle of like doing your spelling test. Timmy, warm up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Or
gotta
you
stay-
get you do what the what LAX does, and they are the pride and powerful. They put them in socks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can put the rocks in the socks.
What did
That's
they call that? They called it something.
the rock and sock connection.
Yeah.
No, they had a name. I forget what they called
Slapjack.
Slapjack.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you like. They have like.
That's
Put a
when,
bar
when
of
Stevie
salt.
Ray used to
Yeah.
pull that out. It was like a piece of rubber.
They,
and
they,
stuff.
they have people. They have things now where they can put that in your hat. So if like somebody, you just hit them
wow.
with your hat,
Yeah.
knock them out. But yeah, speaking of LAX, Santana lost to Matt Hardy here. Woken Matt Hardy.
Good match.
broken.
Yeah, broken. Yeah,
Yeah.
Woken's WWE.
It was fine. It wasn't. It was a
Yeah.
good
It was,
TV.
and it was in
TV
a
match.
It was supposed to be Matt and Sammy Guevara, but
Yeah.
Guevara's been suspended, and
For no time frame.
yeah, indefinitely. And then they'll say after he's gone through some counseling, they'll reassess. I'm pretty sure.
I don't see them firing him.
Yeah.
There's a video I just watched where he was trying out for NXT,
Mhm.
and I guess Lacey Evans was one of the trainers, and she goes, "Your name?" and he said, "I'm Sammy Guevara," and does like a roll,
Yeah.
and got into a fighting pose, and she goes, "I don't hear you," like she's not loud enough, and he goes, "I'm Sammy Guevara, baby," and he rolls and does it again, and she's like, "I ain't your baby, and you suck at rolling."
Of all people to tell, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the one.
Yeah,
That,
although my Lacey's training people.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think she was more like a strength and conditioning coach because of her. I guess
I could see
military.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like training for pro wrestling, especially then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're actually I'm reading the thing here. I think they're calling it the Mad Ball is what they're calling
Oh,
it.
the map. Yes, that's what they called it. Yes, I immediately thought of the hardcore match.
It always reminds me of and this scene like gives me chills every time. Full Metal Jacket, the scene with Private Pile.
Okay, yeah.
Where
They beat him with the soap.
yeah, because because he screws up and they're making everybody else do more work.
Yeah.
That they just put the blanket over him so he can't escape. They just like hit him with the soap and everything. That went into the light. You might want to get that out of there.
The burns up and you see smoke come out of it.
So they beat up Matt Hardy. Then Private Party makes a save again, building up to that. Maybe it didn't go in the light. Maybe I'm wrong.
That is fucking right.
Private property.
It's only 70%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, Private Party saves Matt Hardy, and that's that. And then we have our main event promo with Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho.
I thought it was very good, and the fight was good. And then
You do
Orange
that super
Cassidy-
kick me in the shins, I'll punch your teeth out.
Yeah, I think he said I'll kick the shit out of you or something.
Yeah.
That was their
Well, he
shit.
did get two shits, and
Yeah.
Taz had one, and then I guess
Yeah.
Jericho had the second shit.
But he did do the lame kicks,
He
and
did?
then Jericho breaks his glasses, and that was the
That
final
was it.
straw.
I
I
thought
thought,
Then
he
they
was gonna
both-
pull,
Flying words.
I thought he was going to pull another
I
pair
thought he
out.
would too, yeah. 'Cause he's done that before. But at some point, he got his ear really ripped or something.
Yeah,
it was,
like
it
busted
it
his
added
ear.
to the end when he's like standing tall and bleeding out the ear after he
Yeah,
gave the
Superman punch
to
puts-
Jericho through
yeah.
the table.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
Do you
match.
think Orange Cassidy goes over on Jericho?
No.
I'm gonna say no, but it should be a good match.
The one thing I heard that they thought might be a good idea, almost make it like the first Clash of the Champions, Sting and Ric Flair, like maybe it's some kind of a draw,
Okay.
or somehow where Orange Cassidy kind of
Yeah, Jericho's
goes
gonna make
toe-to-toe
him
with
look good.
Yeah, Jericho's gonna make
Yeah.
him look like $1 million.
Orange Cassidy beats him, and then Orange Cassidy gets the fight with Tyson, and Tyson's just throwing bombs in Orange Cassidy's,
Yeah.
and he knocks Tyson out.
That'd be great.
I just want to see someone take the kick to like the super kick to the shin and just fall over. Like, oh my god!
It's probably happened somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, overall, I thought
That's
AEW
the main
was
event
a,
of night 2 for Fire
yeah,
Fest.
I thought AEW was a fun show.
I think Cage and Moxley.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
AEW was a fun show.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to both nights of Fyter Fest. They did a great job building everything. They feel like important shows. Where NXT, I mean, you have the title versus title thing, but I think theirs feels more thrown together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, what do you got to plug?
Nothing really. I mean, you said the
Pro Wrestling
yeah,
tees.
yeah, said
Blue
that
and
already.
Gold.
Blue and Gold in the morning.
Your interview, even though
Oh,
it's,
that's
it's a
the-
week
yeah,
old,
yeah.
it's still doing very well.
Oh, good.
People seem to really enjoy it.
Yeah, I got to listen to it on Monday. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. What's
And
going on?
who's up next for dinner? Oh, you can wait. till
Oh
the
yeah,
end.
no, I should
I'll
probably.
look, you
that
can
up.
look it up then by Brian.
Brian talks about his plug.
Oh yeah, Murder My Dude. How about that? It's the same thing I plug every week. We just did our 70th episode. All week we've been doing like LGBT focused things, but I realized this week we've been doing them all wrong because it's all been about like LGBT people who were killing people. Like, hey, let's talk
Negative.
about the ones
Yeah.
where they like we tried to like shine a light on some hate crimes.
Oh, that's
and,
funny. Yeah.
And actually, one of the
LGBT murderers.
LGBT terror.
one of the ones we actually covered, because we covered a few different stories this week, was the story where it was a story that created the hate crime legislation in New York. The reason they have that now.
Okay.
And then at the very end we do the game Who Died the Worst, and I tell one of my favorite stories that ever happened in my life, and it's 100% true. So there's a lot of laughs in this episode. We covered some serious heavy stuff, but there's a lot of laughs in this episode too. So check that out. Just look up Murder My Dude. You can go to projecthumanoid.com, look up Murder My Dude on Facebook, or wherever you're listening to this show, just look up Murder My Dude. We're going to be on there too.
Wherever you can find your fine.
Wherever
podcasts.
fine
Yeah.
podcasts are sold.
This week's our next week's interview coming up on Tuesday is gonna be a roller coaster, ladies and gentlemen. Mad Max Morrison.
Oh my!
Yeah, we had a real good time. It was a fun interview. Definitely look forward to you guys checking that out. And that's number 8 of 14 I have recorded.
Oh, that's right.
And then once we get past the 14 episodes, what I'm going to do is definitely by that time I will have the laptop, and we'll be able to do you'll not only be able to just on YouTube, instead of just listening to the audio on YouTube, it'll be like a Zoom call where you could visibly see one another.
As long as the other end wants to do that.
Yes. And they better. That's going to be required. No, but yeah, that's hopefully what we're going to do. But even with interviews everyday people, we're going to do more things with Zoom calls where I can talk to people all over the world and talk to people and hear people's viewpoints and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah. Did you guys skip a week this week for Murder My Dude? Or
No.
because I was listening to it and I was like, I felt like maybe I was caught up. Monster. Oh no, it just came out. Pride Dude. Today
Sometimes
came
it does
out.
that.
It came out. Yeah, our new episode's released at midnight on Thursday. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were Tuesdays for some reason.
we record on Tuesday.
That's right. That's what
And
it is.
then
All right. I'm still listening to Monster My Dude.
okay, yeah. Then that was last
I'm
week.
one behind. Yeah. Yeah, definitely good show. Check out the boys over at Murder My Dude and everything at Project Humanoid. Go buy a T-shirt off those guys. And follow them on all social media. And then the only thing I got is I already said our interview, and we have a lot of cool stuff coming up. New laptops coming, so hopefully this will be a live stream next time you guys hear us. And we'll go from there. But that'll do it for Tornado Tag Podcast. Also, once again, make sure you head over to our Facebook page or go over to GoFundMe and go check out No Rain Checks' Max Bolton. We're still doing a GoFundMe for him where he's trying to recoup some of his losses for his stolen merchandise and his stolen gear. So if anything you can do, 5, 10, anything you can do, definitely helps out. Throw some money into that GoFundMe to help Max out. If you like the intro music, you can head over to their Bandcamp page and pay for their album too. That helps them out as well. So we'll see you guys next time. This is Tornado Tag Podcast. We're out.